Hi, AniQuest here. This is my recap for the anime Windbreaker. If you dig my recaps, don't forget to subscribe and smash that notification bell. The story begins as we watch someone barely managing to stay on a tightrope. Students gossip about how he keeps getting into fights and how he nothing but trouble. Even the parents talk about how dangerous he is. Everybody thinks he is too dangerous to even look at. But that's just how it is because everybody knows he doesn't know how to deal with folks. They straight up diss his looks, saying he won't even dye his hair black. They even have a problem with the color of one of his eyes, claiming he must be cursed. Everybody thinks he is nasty, and the kid eventually falls off the rope. We then see our angry protagonist for the first time, named Sakura. He explains he digs strong folks and doesn't give a damn about the weak. Nearby, some dude's harassing a girl, asking if she wanna do something. She says she wanna smash some eggs on their heads, but that'd be a waste of good eggs. The guy warns her not to act all high and mighty, and he stops her from bouncing. Sakura then explains that what he hates the most are weak people who think they are strong. Sakura interferes with the gang of harassers and tells them that it's too early to be acting so lame. The leader tries to attack Sakura, but sad to say, he is exactly the type Sakura despises. Sakura drops this dude easily and wonders what the hell is going on in his head to make him think he is strong when he ain't. Sakura demands they remember his name and face, so they can warn all the weaklings they know to run when they see him. Sakura is a bit of a psycho, because he also wants them to know his name, so they can tell all the strong peeps how to find him. He announces he is Sakura Haruka from Furin High School. Sakura leaves these jerks, but the girl stops him to say thank you. Sakura is all confused, wondering if she is talking to him. She confirms she is, and Sakura is straight up clear about the fact that he ain't doing that to save her. He only smacked those dudes because they were annoying the hell out of him. Sakura turns down her offer to grub, but she ends up feeding him anyway. She can tell he ain't from around here and ain't too many peeps visiting this spot. She explains that the gang he had just fought has been causing a lot of problems, and the town's public safety has become non-existent. She admits she ain't from around here either and introduces herself as Tachibana. Sakura can't wrap his head around why she is being so nice because most folks would be scared of him, especially after he just beat up 5 guys. Sakura reluctantly chows down the food when she asks him to, but he is blown away by how damn good it is. He wonders if her joint gonna take off, but she corrects him because the dummy is trying to say takeout. Tachibana pointed out his eye and hair colors were all messed up, and he wondered if she had beef with it. She is more amazed than anything, but paranoid Sakura thinks she wanna throw down. Sakura is surprised because normally peeps are disgusted by his looks and demand he dye his hair. Sakura break it down that looks don't mean shit in a fight, and that's why he came to Furin. Furin knew for having students with the shittiest grades, but they are also the elest fighters. They are the ones who slip through the cracks at other schools and end up at Furin. They straight up brawl every day to decide who is on top. They are so dedicated to fighting that they even throw down on holidays, and Sakura is dead set on becoming the top dog. Tachibana peeps out that Sakura has some high-ass goals, but Sakura straight up admits he is dumb as a brick, and fighting is all he knows. But to him, ain't nothing sounds better than scrapping his way to the top, and this place was the perfect fit. It doesn't take long for Tachibana to figure out he is already in school uniform when school ain't starting until tomorrow. It's because he's all hyped up. The embarrassed Sakura explains that he just moved, so he didn't have anything else to wear, but she just teases him more. Our hero Sakura resorts to fighting as always and demands that they take this argument outside. Just then, Tachibana peeps a customer forgetting his bag, but Sakura reminds him. As Sakura bounces home, he can't help but think about how damn weird that whole encounter was. The old man hooked him up with some candies and told Tachibana to thank him. Sakura ain't used to all that praise, so he straight up thinks the whole damn town's weird, including Tachibana. He points out he is rocking the uniform of a school full of troublemakers, and his appearance is hella strange too. It doesn't add up for people to be thanking him. Regular folks would be on guard around him and not trust him. Sakura once found someone's wallet, and they straight up accused him of stealing it. Just then, Tachibana explained that Sakura made the right call coming to Furin, but sadly, there ain't no damn way he gonna be the top dog. Shockingly, she straight up says he might not even beat anyone there, let alone be the top dog. Sakura pointed out she got no damn clue how strong he is. She admits he might have them strong-ass muscles, but explains he still won't be able to be the top dog. The problem he has is that he is all alone. Sakura is getting mad as hell and declaring he ain't that damn weak to rely on anyone else to win. As he leaves, Tachibana clarifies she ain't talking about physical strength. She suggests he go meet some Furin kids because then he gonna stand out. Nearby, a group of hoodlums wreak havoc, and some poor lady calls someone for help. Sakura bumps into the same dudes from earlier, and the leader is surprised that he came. He straight up calls our boy Furin trash, but Sakura just Trina brush him off. The leader peeps that he ain't forget Sakura's face and starts clowning him about his appearance. This dude is shaken when he realizes Sakura's hair and eye color are real. They thought he was just doing some messed up cosplay, but he points out that it being real is even more disgusting. Sakura grinned because this was the reaction he used to get to his appearance. This the disgust he did get used to, but it's all good because he done gave up on that shit. Sakura still wanna feel like he has some worth though. If he can beat whoever is standing in front of him, then he can feel superior. The problem is that Sakura can't stop thinking about how Tachibana told him that he wouldn't be the top dog because he is alone. The leader declares that his gang will start a war against Furin for Sakura punching him, but Sakura isn't even listening. He all focused on Tachibana's words as he punched the leader again and declared he ain't the one dodging people. Sakura let out his true feelings about his appearance. It doesn't make any sense how people act. He knows better than anyone he looks strange, but he never did anything to the people who diss him. This is just who he is. Sakura starts beating down this huge group of thugs. In his mind, as long as he is the strongest and the best fighter, he will be the top dog. Being alone doesn't mean shit. The gang tries to jump him all at once, but it's useless because Sakura is way more skilled than them. Sakura straight up took on any fool getting near him, and the fight was somehow lopsided as hell even though he was outnumbered. Just then, one of them thugs go and snatch up Tachibana, but he pays a damn high price for that dumb ass move because Sakura straight up knock his ass out. Tachibana showed her gratitude, but Sakura gotta break it down once again that them punks just pissed him off. They tried to pull a knife, so he told them idiots to keep the fight fair. One dude tries to creep up on him, but he ends up learning a really valuable lesson. Sakura kept fighting off more of them, but he was stuck defending Tachibana in one spot. He wonders why the hell he is defending her in the first place and reminds himself that helping others never ends well. Still, Sakura keeps holding it down for her, but eventually, one of the thugs uses the knife to slice his leg. Sakura is in a really messed up situation now and think about how that's exactly why he doesn't defend folks. He once again questioned why he decided to help her and get ready to take a bat to the dome. Just then, someone steps in and stops the attack, and Sakura notices this stranger rocking a Furin uniform. This dude shockingly blocked the bat with his back and told Tachibana not to tell a certain person that she was in danger. This guy wiped out the bat wielder and straight up told them punks they did mess up this whole damn town. His buddies arrive, and the guy furiously tells the gang that they're in big trouble. Backup has arrived, but they were disappointed to see so few opponents as they didn't all need to come to fight. Sakura is in absolute shock because he can't wrap his head around why Furin is saving his ass. The thugs are straight up scared shitless when they see this dude named Hiragi, but they think they got this in the bag because they got way more numbers. Hiragi tells the others to handle these fools quickly, so they start straight up wrecking them. One dude goes and attacks Sakura, and Sakura is stuck in a messed up spot because his leg ain't moving. Hiragi saves his ass again and tells Sakura to fall back if he hurts. Sakura gets all pissed and points out that Hiragi ain't his boss, explaining that the thugs were his to take on. Hiragi just tells him to stop moving around because it makes it harder for them to protect him. Sakura is completely shocked, and he looks around to find that the people of the town are cheering on the Furin guys. Sakura can't believe what he is hearing, and Tachibana reminds him about how she said the town's public safety was practically non-existent. But that all changed, and it all thanks to the Furin students. The first thing they did was put up a notice board at the town's entrance. It is straight up to say that if someone brings trouble to the town by harming people or property, they gonna handle them, no matter who they are. Tachibana explains that somewhere along the line, the town's folks give the Furin students a new name because they fought to protect the town. They are known as the town's Boffurin Shield, called Windbreaker, After the fight, all the town's folks come out to thank the boys. Even though they used to be seen as low-level troublemakers, the Furin students now got mad respect in the community. However, they still throw down a lot. They are loved by everyone. But most importantly, they are needed. Sakura was straight up blown away by how damn different this town is because the fighters get treated like heroes. They look like thugs and throw down all the damn time, but ain't nobody scared of them. Sakura feels all sorts of emotions, and he in shock when the townspeople tell him he did a bang-up job holding it down all by himself. Some sweet little old lady even offers to patch up his wound. But Sakura can't handle all that kindness and demands they all cut it out. Tachibana stays calm and starts taking care of his wound, reminding him that she said he was all alone, but she explained that she could see right through him and know he ain't choosing to be alone. She can't fully understand him, but she explains that the people in this town need his strength. Sakura can't process all this shit happening and straight up declares he doesn't need anybody and doesn't want to get involved. Tachibana is quick to point out though, that his actions say something different. She brings up the old man he helped and how he fought hard to protect her. Tachibana says he ain't given up on people, and he doesn't have to. At the very least, she declares that she won't turn her back on him, so she asks that he turn toward her as well. Tachibana is sure this is the way he gonna become who he wanna be. Sakura is still struggling to accept it all, but he makes a wild dash toward the others. He leaps into the air and points out how the delinquents seem to be playing hero now. He admits all this talk about being the town's shield sound damn cool, and he straight up wreck the gang leader who has been terrorizing the town. Everybody watches in shock, and Sakura wonders if peeps are really gonna stick by him there. We find out that this is the story about how a low-level outcast who only knows how to fight becomes the hero of the town. After a while, Sakura rolls up to Tachibana's restaurant, all pissed off because he gotta carry Grandma Sato on his back. He's worried she's gonna hurt herself getting off, but he just tells Granny to hurry it up. But damn, Grandma Sato surprises him with her smooth dismount, and Sakura's fuming because she told him her hips hurt so bad she couldn't walk. The old lady thanks him, but Sakura still ain't sure how to handle all that kindness. Tachibana stops him from bouncing and serves him some grub because it's his entrance ceremony today. It's still mad early, so she determines again that he all pumped to go to school. Sakura denies it, but she completely understands, since Furin got a lot of interesting characters. Just then, this kid named Nairi shows up and straight up faceplants. He asks Tachibana what she thinks of his new uniform, but Sakura points out he's still got the damn tags on his jacket. Nairi manages to rip them off, and Tachibana lets Sakura know they're gonna be in the same grade. Nairi notices Sakura's wild hair and eye, and Sakura thinks he got a problem with it. Nairi is surprised by his attitude and figures Sakura must be going through some tough shit at such a young age. Nairi tries to figure out why a nobody like Sakura ended up in their town. Sakura's insulted, but Tachibana assures him that Nairi acts like that with everyone. Nairi gets all hyped and tells Sakura that Furin High ain't no regular school. The peeps in Bafurin stand up for the locals, protect the weak, and crush the wicked. They some straight up heroes of justice. Everyone who comes to Furin wanna be like them and protect the town too. Nairi's one of them, but he wonders why someone with no ties to Furin like Sakura ended up there. Sakura lays it all out and reveals he there to take the top spot. Protecting the town is cool and all, but there's a whole bunch of strong folks there, and Sakura just wanna be the best among them. Nairi gets all serious and tells him not to talk big if he can't back it up, but his reason for saying that is cause he's scared Sakura gonna go bald. Sakura's done with his little comedy act, so he demands they throw down. But it's getting late, and Nairi got a dip because he wanna do 3 rounds of town patrol before the entrance ceremony. He declares that from today on, he gonna be a hero of justice, but damn, he is showing off how clumsy he is as he heads out. Tachibana straight up notices how hilarious this kid is, but Sakura can't believe a total dork like him wanna be some hero of justice. Tachibana's mad surprised to hear Sakura talking about someone's looks, but Sakura means these dudes like him always chicken out when it comes to throwing down. To Sakura, that's the lamest thing ever. Tachibana says it's just his assumption, but Sakura explains he's seen it go down way too many damn times. Then Tachibana drops some knowledge on him. She points out that the coffee fruit looks way different from the beans she got in her jars. The lesson is, if you only see things from one angle, you ain't never gonna see the real deal. She thinks Sakura shouldn't be so quick to judge and tells him to get to know people better. so he can see who they truly are. Sakura really takes that lesson to heart, but he just thinks she means Nairi is a badass fighter. Tachibana's mad disappointed, wondering if fighting is the only thing he cares about. After Sakura bounces, he still thinks he's onto something. And out of nowhere, someone stops him and offers him some free bread. Dude's hella confused, so the baker explains that the Furin kids always help the town, and he wanna give back. They recognize Sakura as the dude who stood up to the gang the other day, and everybody's talking about him. Sakura doesn't know how to handle the praise and dips, but they insist he takes some sandwiches for lunch. While Sakura's cruising through town, he notices mad other people feeling the same way. He can't figure out what the deal is and wonders what's wrong with all these people, acting way too nice to a guy like him. But then Sakura realizes he was just assuming they'd treat him like crap. Right then, Sakura gets shocked when a girl begs him for help. In some sketchy alley, Nairi gets straight up beat up because he tried to stop some dude from hassling a girl. The guys mock him saying he ain't gonna protect the town, because he's the one who needs protection. Nairi tries to make them take it back, but they just push him around. Then those guys get hella surprised when Nairi declares that anyone causing pain or messing up the town is gonna get wiped out by the Boffurin. They all start laughing, saying only dudes in superhero shows talk like that. The leader gets really annoyed and says it doesn't matter if Nairi's a windbreaker. He's the one getting wiped out. Dude's about to attack him, but Sakura shows up right on time to help Nairi. Nairi's mad shocked and wonders why Sakura's saving him, but Sakura doesn't even pay him any attention. The bullies are laughing because Sakura steps in to save his buddy, but Sakura's insulted by that. He reveals it ain't true, and he just hates weaklings that think they strong. Sakura straight up declares that it makes him sick, so the bullies decide to show them what they got. Nairi fears for his safety, because he is sure Sakura can't take them on his own, but ain't nothing to worry about, as the guys are knocked out just a second later. Nairi can't believe his eyes and wonders who the hell Sakura really is. Nairi's straight up scared of him now, but he still thanks Sakura for the help. Nairi's pretty sure Sakura must be disappointed to see someone like him at Boffurin and attending Furin High. But Sakura just points out he wasn't saving him. Sakura calls him a typical poser, and he warns Nairi to know his limits and what he's truly capable of. Nairi spills his story of getting beat up in middle school all the time. Then one day, someone from Furin came to his rescue, someone he'd normally be scared of. But in that moment, that person was hella cool, and Nairi wanted to be just like him. So he enrolled at Furin to become awesome too, but now he's realizing just how pathetic he is. Sakura realizes he made assumptions about Nairi being a coward in fights, but it's clear that Nairi can stand up for himself. Sakura tells him he's a weak fighter, but there might still be a chance he's not totally lame. Nairi's mind is blown, and the girl he protected shows up to thank him for having her back. She thanks Sakura too, but he tries to bail. Nairi stops him and pulls out his little notebook again. He bombards Sakura with questions about his height, weight, blood type, and hobbies. The kid goes nuts analyzing Sakura and taking notes like crazy. Sakura cuts him off, so Nairi explains he likes gathering data on guys he admires and finds cool. Sakura basically tells him to do his thing, so Nairi takes it as an invite to observe Sakura up close and personal. Nairi offers to give him a tour, claiming he may not be much help in a fight, but he's the best damn guide when it comes to the town and its people. Sakura's taken aback when Nairi declares he can guide Sakura all the way to the top, but in the next moment, Nairi gotta push Sakura to get a move on. But Sakura's all about chowing down cause he gets hella hungry after throwing down. Sakura's amazed by how bomb the bread tastes, and Nairi gets caught up in it too, but then he realizes they gotta hustle and get to school. Finally, the two of them make it to school, and Sakura's pumped cause there's gonna be a whole bunch of people, just like the dudes he met before. Nairi peeps the class roster and gets all hyped because he sees that he and Sakura are in the same damn class. Nairi's mind blown by all the other names on the list, but he ain't actually know any of them personally. They just people he looks up to. Sakura don't think it matters who's in their class, but Nairi points out they're gonna be spending a ton of time with these folks. Right then, Nairi gets shocked by this one name in particular, and Sakura points out he looking really drained. Nairi shakes it off and asks Sakura to try and be friendly with everyone in class, maybe even flash them a smile. Sakura thinks Nairi must be kidding, but Nairi reminds him that the Boffurin peeps came together to protect the town. Sakura ain't from around there, So these dudes definitely gonna ask why he came to Furin. Nairi thinks it's crucial to show that Sakura ain't no threat, and he ain't the enemy of Baffurin. But Sakura ain't even paying attention, cause he busy getting warmed up. Nairi wonders why, and he's shocked when Sakura says he just preparing for anything. Nairi's disappointed cause Sakura ain't listening, and he points out that even the slightest misunderstanding as an outsider could turn the whole damn school against him. Sakura doesn't even give a damn if every single person turns on him, and he reminds Nairi that he there to fight his way to the top. Sakura struts into the class, and Nairi freaks out cause it's hella obvious that everyone is staring at him. The class full of some hardcore looking students, but Sakura couldn't ask for a better crowd. One student knows who Sakura is, but Sakura's on high alert. Nairi apologizes for him and instantly recognizes the student from his book. Then this kid says he's Jack Sparrow. Sakura falls for it at first, and Nairi had no freaking clue this cold-looking dude could be such a prankster. Nairi knows his name's actually Suo, and Suo says his eye patch seals away an ancient Chinese spirit in his right eye. Sakura loses his temper when he realizes this kid's all talk, but then Suo gets serious and steps up to Sakura. The vibe gets tense, and Nairi's thinking people from out of town really get treated as anomalies. Sakura gets ready to throw down, and Nairi's scared there might be no way to stop it. Just then he's shocked when Suo just pets Sakura on the back, and compliments him for being the star of the main street brawl that happened the day before. The other students wonder what he's talking about, so Suo explains that before Hiragi showed up, Sakura was already holding it down and protecting the town. Nairi had no clue about this. The other students start gathering around Sakura. There were rumors about some unknown student in their uniform, and they glad this person did a solid job helping the town. They get a bit too close for comfort, but Nairi figures it's better than them turning on Sakura. It's pretty clear they don't see him as an enemy, so Nairi relaxes because the person he was scared of before should be cool with Sakura too. These dudes still wonder why Sakura came to Furin in the first place, so Sakura spills that he came to snatch the top spot. They all surprised, so Nairi tries to explain that Sakura ain't there to hold them down and beat them up. But Sakura says he actually is, but his new buddy steps in and tells him to chill. Just then a table gets tossed, and it's some straight up terrifying student. Sakura gets an excited look on his face, but Nairi begs him not to fight this guy. He's the most dangerous dude in their class, maybe even the whole school, and his name's Kyotaro. Sakura declares he prefers fighting mad dogs like him, so Kyotaro says he'll crush him. Kyotaro throws a powerful punch, and Nairi's shocked when he realizes that Suo instantly moved him out of the way. Sakura dodges it too and gives props to Kyotaro, saying he's the type he expected to see at Furin. Kyotaro gets even more pissed, but Sakura's loving every second of it, because that's exactly what Sakura was hoping for. Nairi is shitting bricks, but Suo is pumped to see some shit go down. Suo explains that Sakura screwed up by claiming he'd be the top dog in front of Kyotaro. Sakura's trying his damn best to dodge Kyotaro's attacks, while Suo spills that Kyotaro's been repping Furin High School since his middle school days. Because of his dedication, Kyotaro was the only one allowed to call himself Baffurin before officially starting shit. He's so damn loyal to the top dog that he's earned the nickname the Top Dog's Fanatic. Some other student begs Suo to stop the fight because he's convinced the new kid's gonna get his ass handed to him by Kyotaro. But everyone's jaws drop when Sakura dodges another attack and lands a counter. Sakura points out that Kyotaro's just a fanboy of the top dog, meaning he can't think for himself. Dude probably can't even make his own damn choices, so Sakura makes it clear that a guy like that doesn't stand a chance against him. Kyotaro, all bloody and pissed off, ain't backing down. They're about to throw down some more, but then some announcement interrupts them. The person on the other end is all clumsy with the damn microphone, but eventually welcomes all the students to Furin. Sakura's annoyed as hell by the interruption and just wants to get back to kicking ass, but all the other students are totally focused on the announcement, and Sakura wonders who the hell this guy is that managed to grab their attention. Turns out the dude's name is Yumemiya, and Sakura figures out he's Furin's top dog, the toughest man in the whole school. Everyone's waiting eagerly to hear what he's got to say, but Yumemiya goes and says he forgot. He just tells everyone to remember to enjoy their youth. They're in high school now, so they should make a shitload of memories. He suggests they all hit the beach and grab some shaved ice. Nairi can't freaking believe what this badass is saying, but Kyotaro thinks he's trying to mock the top dog. Yumamiya figures with so many students, there's bound to be some beef, but he assumes they ain't troublemakers who'd start a brawl on the first day. Kyotaro tries to hide the fact that there's some troublemakers throwing fists on day one, so he wipes the blood off his face. Then Yumamiya gets dead serious for one message. He tells everyone to defend the damn town. They were given the name Boffurin, so they gotta protect the people and every damn thing that matters. That's the school's one and only rule, and all the students accept that shit. Sakura's freaking shocked that this dude ain't even in the damn room, but everybody's all eager to follow his orders, and he wonders just how badass of a fighter Yumamiya is. Suo wants the two fighters to shake hands and show some deep-ass understanding of youth, but Sakura ain't even thinking the fight's over yet. Nairi wonders why Sakura's turning all red, but Sakura shuts his ass up. Suo reminds Kyotaro that Yumamiya wouldn't be happy hearing he fought a classmate, and he tells Sakura that showing respect to other students is crucial if he wants to be the top dog. Surprisingly, Kyotaro wants to shake hands, so Nairi begs Sakura to hurry the fuck up and do it. Sakura gets ready for it and tells himself to just shake the damn hand. Sakura must have been through some real tough shit because he's gotta remind himself not to slap Kyotaro's hand away or toss his ass to the ground. Sakura shakes his hand, but thinks it feels hella weird touching people outside of a fight. Suo's glad to see their youth burning bright, but their grip is so damn tight that they both wonder if the other's a freaking gorilla. The other students go wild and can't believe Sakura actually landed a hit on Kyotaro. Sakura's surprised by how nice they're being, but he realizes it's been like this the whole damn time since he came to Furin. Sakura's all quiet in his thoughts, but the other students are wondering if he got choked out or some shit. Sakura joins in the fun and points out he ain't getting choked out that easily. In his mind though, he's thinking he had no freaking clue people could be so friendly. Just then, the students are told to go outside, and moments later Sakura's surprised they gotta paint over some graffiti. Sakura's clueless why the hell they're doing this, but Nairi's taking pride in doing a good job, and Suo's complimenting his painting skills. We take a look back to right before this painting shit happened, showing what went down when they were told to head outside. The student who ordered them explains he's gonna get in deep shit if they take too damn long. It took them almost 8 minutes to get their asses out there, so Haragi explains toddlers could move faster than these dummies. Sakura tells Nairi he saw Haragi when he saved Tachibana, but Haragi overhears and gets furious. Sakura ain't supposed to mention Tachibana being there, and Haragi explains he's gonna be in some serious shit if word gets out Tachibana was in danger. Haragi straight up threatens that some messed up shit will go down if Sakura doesn't listen, but it turns out all he does is start coughing up blood. Haragi pops some stomach meds and explains that he don't know what brought Sakura to this school, but he chose one hardcore leader to roll with. Nairi's wondering what kind of dude Haragi is, so Sakura explains that he's the type of weirdo to stress himself out until he's got a stomach ache and needs an anti-gas pill. Nairi's taking mad notes on Haragi and says it's because Haragi's one of the school's 4 kings. Yumamiya's sitting at the top of Boffurin, and right below him are his generals, the 4 kings. Each one's like a captain for all 3 years of a class. Haragi splits the students into groups with a 2nd or 3rd year as the captain, and he says they're gonna patrol the town. Haragi is the captain of Sakura's group, which also includes Nairi, Suo, and Kyotaro. Kyotaro and Sakura are in the same group because Yumamiya told Haragi to keep a close eye on the troublemaking fistfighters. The guys are shocked that he knows about the fight, so Sakura points out he was just defending himself. Haragi's gotta pull them apart so they can keep patrolling. Sakura points out all they doing is walking around, and wonders why they ain't beating up some intruders. But Haragi explains that it'd be offense, not defense. Just walking around in their uniforms is enough to scare off the smaller crews, so that's the plan. Sakura thinks it's hella boring, but Haragi points out that only liking fights doesn't make him much fun either. Right then Haragi does his duty and helps an old man on a ladder. Turns out they're painting over graffiti because that's part of Boffurin's job. When they're done, they get some grub as a thank you. Haragi gets why Sakura's all about fighting because all them other Boffurin guys used to be the same way. But eventually they realize being needed by the townspeople is fun too. Sakura gives it some thought and takes a bite of the snack. They come across a tunnel where Sakura spots a symbol of a damn ugly dog. Nairi wishes Sakura would watch his words, and he explains they're at the border between Boffurin and another team's turf. Once they cross the train tracks, it's a whole different country with its own damn rules. It'd be hella dangerous to stir up some shit over there. The other team's symbol is a lion's head, and they believe strength is everything. That's supposed to scare off outsiders, but that's the kinda motto Sakura digs. Right then, the crew peeps a Furin middle schooler getting chased down by the lion's head fools. It's clear as day that this kid ain't gonna make it across the damn train tracks in time, so Hiragi just bows his head because there's jack shit they can do. But then out of nowhere, everyone loses their damn minds when Sakura and Kyotaro go all out on the lion's head punks. Nairi's scared shitless because they ain't supposed to mess with lion's head turf. Sakura says the kid's on their damn team, so both Sakura and Kyotaro point out that it was the lion's head fools who started the interference. Sakura tells Kyotaro to bounce because he can handle this solo, but the dude don't listen. The lion's head fools start clowning on their own teammate for getting knocked out with a single kick. But Sakura's thinking about how ruthless they are because they're supposed to be on the same damn team. Right then, the lion's head clowns start shitting their pants because someone shows up after seeing what went down. Hiragi can't freaking believe it's this dude who showed up of all people. He spills that he's a lion's head second in command named Togami. Togami's wondering what the hell's going on and casually greets Hiragi. Hiragi explains that those fools were chasing one of their own. Sakura is getting irritated by how chill this dude is, but he can tell that Togami's legit when he figures out that Sakura and Kyotaro are the ones who knocked out his team member. The knocked out dude gets up all pissed off because they broke the rules and stepped into their turf. But Togami shocks everyone when he smashes a bottle over his damn head. Togame don't give a damn if it was their turf or not. He only cares that this kid lost the damn fight. Togami starts wailing on this fool, punch after punch, and explains that losing means he's weak. The lion's head crew doesn't like weak-ass members, so he keeps beating him down, but Hiragi steps in. Hiragi tells him he's part of Togami's crew, but Togami corrects him. He rips off the dude's lion's head jacket and says their crew don't need no weaklings. Everyone's in shock seeing this ruthless dude, but Sakura just thinks he's a lame ass. He thought the lion's head fools believed strength was everything, but he points out that beating up the weak don't really prove strength. Sakura stands right up to this dude, feeling disappointed because he thought he found a fun crew. Everyone's shocked seeing him stand up to Togami, and the lion's head fools are sure Togame's going to end his damn life for saying what he said. But surprisingly, Togami ain't tripping about it. He's more curious about Sakura's funky hairdo. Togami also ain't feeling Sakura's fast talking, and he gets all serious and says it pisses him off. Togami straight up announces that he's made his damn decision and declares that he'll beat Sakura to a pulp when the time's right. He even claims he's got Sakura's face memorized. The lion's head crew bounce after that. Nairi's scared shitless, pointing out that Sakura and Kyotaro might have just started a damn war. Suo calms his ass down and says he don't want Nairi ending up like Hiragi. Hiragi's so damn stressed that he's gotta slam down about 10 anti-gas pills. Nairi tries to remind him not to exceed the recommended dosage. Nairi wishes Sakura didn't provoke Togami and says maybe he would have let them off the hook after that kick. But Hiragi knows better. He explains that Togami's probably the most territorial dude in Lion's Head. He wouldn't have let that shit slide. But what's done is done. Then Hiragi shocks everyone when he admits that he should have made the first move and apologizes. He tells some middle schooler named Sasaki to come with them, so they can report to Yumamiya. Sakura can tell Hiragi's stomach is really acting up now, so he wonders if Hiragi's really scared as hell of reporting to Yumamiya. Yumamiya sounded pretty laid back during his announcement, so Sakura's wondering what kind of dude he really is. They get to the rooftop of the school, and everyone's amazed at how freaking dope it looks. Hiragi approaches Yumamiya, and Sakura gets ready to meet the big boss at the school. But all the students are straight up shocked when Yumamiya's just psyched about his damn plans. The fool wants to barbecue with everyone in the summer, and Sakura's wondering if this dude's really the top dog. Hiragi then says they've got a problem on their hands, but Yumamiya says he already knows all about it. That makes no sense since nobody could have told him about what happened yet. But it turns out that he's just talking about his damn plants. The rest of the crew's finally catching on to why Hiragi despises reporting to Yumamiya. The dude never listens to a damn word you say. Sakura tries to get his attention, but Kyotaro gets pissed off because he ain't letting anyone talk to his idol. Dude's ready to throw hands, but then he remembers Yumamiya's right here and wouldn't approve. So they all end up chilling and Yumamiya goes on and on about his plant empire, when they should be focusing on the real deal. Sakura can't even tell one plant from another, and while Yumamiya might be a good dude, Sakura's more confused than ever about why he's got mad respect from so many people. After sitting through Yumamiya's plant lecture for what feels like an eternity, This kid who got his ass whooped speaks up and spills about what went down today. He saw a shoplifter causing havoc in town, so he tried to chase him down. But before he knew it, he wandered straight into the Lion's Head territory. The goons were hot on his trail, and he had zero chance of outrunning them. Just when he was about to give up, Sakura and Kyotaro swoop in like heroes and save his sorry ass. Homie admired the Furin students so much that he wanted to be like them. But all he did was start a full-on brawl with a Lion's Head, dragging everyone into the mess. And for that, he's genuinely sorry. Yumemiya calls out Sasaki by name and gives him props for doing what he did. Sure, he may have inadvertently caused a war, but he did it while trying to protect the people of this town, so he has nothing to be sorry for. As for the war, he doesn't have to worry about it since Yumemiya says he will personally handle it. But real talk, he's dying to know how Sakura and Kyotaro pulled off the rescue. So Sasaki explains that they kicked one of the guys off his feet. Yumemiya knows damn well the Lion's Head ain't gonna be cool with that, but he can't help but find it hella amusing. Hiragi steps up and apologizes because all this craziness went down while he was supposed to be keeping an eye on them. But Yumemiya ain't laying blame on him because mistakes happen all the freaking time. And then Nairi rats out Sakura for making shit worse by taunting Togami. So Sakura explains that he couldn't stand Togami talking about strength being the only thing that matters, while the dude's just picking on the weak. So he said it to his face with no regrets. Yumemiya gets what went down, so he gets up and Sakura thinks he's about to throw down. But he just pats him on the head and says he was thinking the same damn thing because those dudes got a messed up mindset. And on another note, Yumemiya heard about Sakura's Main Street heroics yesterday, and today he saves Sasaki, so Yumemiya gives props to Sakura for looking out for the peeps here. Kyotaro's hella jealous because Sakura's getting all the attention, and Sakura's feeling some weird sense of ease around him. He's starting to get why folks are drawn to him all the damn time. It's because he's got this presence that makes anyone feel safe. But Sakura ain't letting himself get all cozy with that warmth, so he straight up slaps Yumemiya's hand away. Right then and there, Hiragi gets a call from his boy Kaji, but all he hears are the words Lion's Head before the call cuts off. Yumemiya asks if something's up, but before they know it, they hear a voice on a megaphone. They all look down to the courtyard and see some dude dragging one of the students who knocked the hell out. He claims he's the top dog of Shishitoran, otherwise known as Lion's Head, and his name's Tomiyama. This dude's come here today and kicked the shit out of hella Furin students because he wants to have a fair and square brawl with Yumemiya. And his smile shows just how damn pumped he is for it. Nairi's losing it because the leader of Lion's Head's here in the flesh, while Sakura's getting all hyped because he knows Tomiyama gotta be stronger than Togami. Just then, Sakura feels this crazy presence behind him, but he can't quite put his finger on it. So when he sees Yumemiya bouncing, he starts tailing him, and the others follow too. Once they're all outside, Yumemiya tells them to stay the hell out of this one. But Sakura being Sakura and insists on throwing down. Yumemiya gives him a cold-ass warning, straight up saying he don't repeat orders twice. Sakura's hit with a wave of obedience because he knows he would have caught a fist to the face if he talked back just now, but he's clueless as to how Yumemiya's whole demeanor switched up so damn quick. He steps up to Tomiyama and calls him out for still holding on to one of the Furin students by their hair, but Tomiyama just brushes it off and straight up laughs in Yumemiya's face about what he did. Sakura's thinking this dude must be hella strong or straight up crazy to have the balls to diss Yumemiya to his face like that. And all he really wants right now is to go head to head with Yumemiya, one-on-one, because he's got a legit reason after what Sakura and Kyotaro pulled. Yumemiya just stays chill while Tomiyama keeps circling him, still begging for a fight like a kid who wants to go party. But then Yumemiya speaks up and says that while it might be true that Furin started it by knocking out that dude under the bridge, Tomiyama has gone way harder in retaliation, so he thinks they can call it even now. Tomiyama agrees that what he's done is enough to at least call it even for now. But that doesn't mean things are settled as he throws a kick at Yumemiya's face. Yumemiya catches it, but Tomiyama wasn't actually trying to sneak attack him. He just wants to start more shit, so he has a reason to throw down with Yumemiya. It doesn't make any damn sense why he's so hell-bent on fighting. So Yumemiya asks him what his endgame is. Tomiyama says it's not necessarily because he wants a brawl, but because he wants Yumemiya. Over at Lion's Head, he's been mad lonely ever since he took the top spot. But Yumemiya, on the other hand, has mad friends to kick it with. So Tomiyama came up with a logical solution. Take over all of Furin so he can have some damn fun too. Yumemiya gets where Tomiyama's coming from, but before he can even try to reason with him, some other members of Lion's Head show up. While Tomiyama's all confused as to why they're here because he didn't call for backup. They straight up tell him it was a dangerous move to go solo and attack Furin High like this. Sakura and the others step up to join Yumemiya, and even though he tells them to fall back again, Sakura stands his ground because while he respects a fair duel, he won't stand for a jumping. Tomiyama's getting frustrated because he was about to have a legit showdown with Yumemiya, so he wants everyone else to bounce already. But Togami doesn't think a duel's gonna go down today, especially with the whole damn student body watching them. Yumemiya peeps what's about to go down, so he shouts for all the peeps in the classes to stay put as he steps forward, saying he'll take on Tomiyama in a duel like he wanted. He just wants him to tell his crew to back off so shit doesn't get messy. Tomiyama's all stoked to finally get his match. But then some punk from Lion's Head starts dissing Yumemiya, calling him a softie, and that sets off Kyotaro, who can't stand no Yumemiya haters. Then another one starts clowning Suo, saying he's so basic he needs accessories to stand out. But with how he holding his hands like an anime girl pose, Suo just finds it cute as hell. Togami steps in, telling everyone to chill for a second. Then he tells Tomiyama that if he really wants a duel, they should save it for another time because it's getting dark already. If they start fighting in the dark, they won't be able to fully appreciate how badly they beat down the Furin students. Sakura fires back, saying the only face getting smashed in will be Togami's face. And since Tomiyama can see there's some serious tension between those two, he suggests they turn the duel into a team match instead. They can have a bunch of one-on-one battles, with Yumemiya facing off against Tomiyama, Togami against Sakura, Kyotaro against Yukinari, and finally Suo against Kanema. Yumemiya ain't having it, saying if it's a duel he wants, the two of them are enough. But now Tomiyama wants to turn it into a full-on tournament because that sounds way more fun to him. Sakura and the others agree to the terms, but just when they think it's settled, another Lion's Head dude shows up and wants in on the action. He's got beef with Hiragi, and Hiragi's down to throw down, so he joins the tournament too. With everything sorted, Tomiyama declares that the fate of the Lion's Head crew is on the line, so they better in their best and have fun. Later, they all hit up the cafe to eat some food and chill. And Nairi's freaking out because he thinks they're in some deep shit. Sakura's getting real tired of Nairi's whining, but he's the one who started this whole mess in the first place. Tachibana brings over some food and tells Nairi there's no point stressing so damn much because it ain't gonna change a damn thing. But Nairi's got a good reason to be worried, because if by some horrible turn of events Yumemiya actually loses, Boffurin might go down the drain. Tachibana sticks to her point, saying worrying won't change shit either way, and he should know damn well these guys ain't weak enough to lose to Lion's Head that easily. Sakura straight up demolishes his food like a freaking beast, and once he's done, he asked if he could dip for the day. Nairi's jaws drop at how damn fast he finished, but they gotta wait for Yumemiya and Hiragi because they stayed back to persuade the other Furin students not to screw things up even more. Sakura gets that, but he's clueless why they had to meet up here of all places. So Suo breaks it down that this joint is like a chillaxing spot for Furin peeps, where they gather up before some major throwdowns. And just when he says that, Yumemiya busts through the door and starts fawning over Tachibana. Sakura thought this meant she was his girl, but they both denied it. Yumemiya instead said Tachibana was his darling little sis, but she denied that too, leaving Sakura all kinds of confused about what the heck their actual relationship is. Tachibana's feeling embarrassed to say this, but she explains that she and Yumemiya grew up in the same orphanage, and Yumemiya just randomly decided she's his sister at some point with no questions asked. Sakura doesn't find it all that weird, but he's a bit shocked to learn that she's the little sis in this equation. She says she's only 16. But he thought she was at least 20 or something because she acts way too mature for her age. But as he's saying this, Kyotaro goes and throws a damn chair at him, getting on his last nerve. But what really freaks him the hell out is the way Yumemiya's looking at him, like he's about to unleash some serious pain on Sakura. He brushes it off and laughs it out, and then Hiragi reminds Sakura that he better never let Yumemiya find out Tachibana was ever in danger, or hell's going to break loose. A while later, Yumemiya is chowing down on his food, but Hiragi seems lost in his own damn thoughts. He's been thinking about the ex-top dog of Lion's Head, and that gets Sakura wondering if Lion's Head used to be different back in the day. Those dudes believed in pure strength and had a whole bunch of muscle on their squad, but they'd never stoop so low as to chase down some middle schooler and jump him. Furin even had a straight-up brawl with Lion's Head once, but it was always satisfying for everyone involved. But ever since Tomiyama took over, shit's gone down really fast. Dudes picking fights left and right, and things ain't been the same since. Yumemiya's pretty damn sure Tomiyama's to blame, even though he ain't got all the deeds. But if they throw down tomorrow, they'll find out for sure, because sometimes punches are the only language dudes like them understand. When it's closing time, Tachibana shuts down the shop, and everyone's about to bounce. But before they leave, Sasaki takes a moment to formally thank Sakura for stepping up and saving his ass when he was in deep shit. And of course, Sakura gets all embarrassed again, like a shy little puppy. The next morning, they all roll up to the bridge and step into Lion's Head territory for the tournament. And there Tomiyama and the rest of the Lion's Head crew are waiting, ready to kick things off. Tomiyama is all pumped up leading the way, and the Boffurin crew is following suit. On the way, Sakura spots that the whole damn place is filled with bars. Nairi explains it gets very crowded at night, but it's also hella dangerous. Sakura just now realizes why Nairi is there and points out he ain't in a one-on-one fight. Nairi straight up declares he is there because he is a Boffurin member. Even if he can't protect others like them, he at least want to protect himself. Nairi asks if he can learn by watching. Sakura gets all pissed and tells him to do whatever the hell he wants, but Suo can tell Sakura secretly feeling flattered. Hiragi gets all worked up about that and wishes they'd show some damn nerves about the fight. Yumemiya tells him to chill a bit and mentions the newbies got mad potential. Tomiyama leads them further into the area, and Togami formally welcomes them to Orion, the secret lair of the Lion's Head. Nairi peeps his lil info book and explains to the others that the Lion's Head lair used to be a movie theater called Orion, but it went belly up. Nowadays they call it Ori, like a cage. They all step into the theater, and the Lion's Head crew cheer like crazy as they announce the fighters about to enter the arena. The crowd going wild and unruly, so Nairi was straight up terrified. Suo gets why they call it a cage now, because this place is a damn den of wild beasts. Nairi starts wondering if they're gonna make it back home or even make it out alive. Sakura sees this and reminds Nairi that he is there to study. He tells Nairi to keep his eyes forward, and Nairi refocuses on that. Tomiyama announces it's time to kick things off, and Yumemiya points out he turned this whole thing into a damn spectacle. Yumemiya tells his crew that even though it's a big event, the only fight that truly matters is his one-on-one with Tomiyama. The rest of their wins or losses don't mean jack, so they should feel chill when they step on that stage. Sakura straight up rejects that and declares he ain't planning to lose, whether it counts or not. The others agree, and Yumemiya stoked about how dependable they are. Tomiyama want to throw down with Yumemiya first, but ain't no way they letting the captain start the battle. The blonde dude want to go first because he has been shooting daggers at Kyotaro with his eyes the whole damn time. Everybody is cool with it, so they head to the stage. Sakura reminds Kyotaro that they still got unfinished business. But if he loses to sorry-ass losers like these dudes, Sakura doesn't want to fight him ever again. Kyotaro, as always, ain't got no words and just heads to the stage. The blonde dude's name is Yukinari, so Nairi looks him up in his little book. Yukinari is known for being a heavy hitter, breaking ribs with just one punch. Suo tells them not to worry though, because Kyotaro is pretty much the same. But Yumemiya straight up shocks them when he says they ain't even in the same league. On stage, Yukinari annoyed by Kyotaro's stare. He pulls a dirty trick to distract Kyotaro, faking something bad happened to Yumemiya. Yukinari takes advantage and lands a punch, calling Kyotaro an idiot for losing focus in a fight. Sakura knows ain't nothing to worry about though. Kyotaro just building up his rage and straight up wrecks Yukinari. He calls Yukinari an idiot and reminds him to show respect when talking about Yumemiya. Yukinari knocked the hell out, but Sakura was just disappointed by how weak he was. The Lion's Head dudes can't believe he got knocked out so easy and wonder who the hell this Boffurin newbie is. Nairi points out Kyotaro only needed one punch, and the Lion's Head dudes getting concerned. Tomiyama, on the other hand, finding it amusing how tough Kyotaro is. The Boffurin dudes peep them and see how focused Togami is. Now Tomiyama wanna throw down with Kyotaro, so Togami has to tell him to chill and wait for his turn. Nairi straight up stunned by their reaction. They don't give a damn about the dude who lost, they are out here complimenting the opponent. Nairi is more certain than ever that there's definitely something off about these two dudes. Yumemiya points out Kyotaro has always been tough as nails, so it ain't no surprise a punch to the face doesn't faze him. Nairi was still shocked by it, but Sakura ain't because he had already gone up against Kyotaro. The others are stoked because this means Sakura finally accepts Kyotaro's strength, but Sakura is too embarrassed to admit it. While they argue, Yumemiya peeped the Lion's head leaders. Tomiyama wondering how Togami would take down Kyotaro if they had to throw down. Yumemiya watching closely because Togami is so focused that he doesn't even answer Tomiyama. His seriousness got Tomiyama all hyped for more fighting, so he tell a couple of his dudes to clear the stage. The dudes are tired of dragging Yukinari, so they just decide to toss him off the stage onto the ground. They clowning Yukinari for being so weak and kicking his knocked out body, which makes Nairi call them out for being straight up awful. Nairi is horrified when Sakura tells the two dudes to not even talk near him. He never want to hear them talk about being worshippers of power ever again. And it embarrasses him just hearing wimps like them speak. Suo joins in and points out that kids like them just won't understand till they get defeated. The dudes getting furious and wondering if they looking for a fight. Their anger turns to straight up terror though, when Tomiyama dead serious tells them to step back because they ain't their opponents. Sakura all eager to throw down next, but Suo declares it's his turn to fight the quiet kid. Suo points out his opponent looking hella stressed, so they should get some exercise. The kid named Kanema, and all the Lion's Head dudes cheering him on. As Suo getting ready to fight, he explained he thought Sakura was dumb for aiming for the top spot. Sakura getting furious, but Suo explained he was wrong. He thought Sakura's words were empty and meaningless, but now he knows Sakura actually got some backbone. Suo thinks that's dope as hell, and he gonna give it his all so he can keep up with Sakura. Sakura never knows what to say in these situations, so he just tells Suo to hurry the hell up and get on stage. Nairi searching for info about Kanuma in his book, but Sakura is more interested in learning about Suo. Nairi explains Suo was famous for being strong in middle school. Sakura can tell that just by looking at him, but unfortunately Nairi ain't got no more info. Haragi explained he heard about Suo quite a bit too, but he ain't got no details about him either. Same goes for Yumemiya, but he could tell from the moment they met that Suo a kind dude. On stage, turns out Kanuma pissed as hell after seeing Yukinari get knocked the hell out. Suo points out that this ain't like the Lion's Head dudes because they treat their own members like crap. Kanuma reveal he had known Yukinari his whole damn life and they always had each other's back. Suo points out he only wheezes when he is a victim, and that's some childish behavior. Suo straight up clowning him, talking to him like he a lil boy, and Sakura thinking about how the look on Suo's face ain't that of a gentleman. Suo's mockery make Kanuma attack, but everybody is shocked when Suo dodge that shit easy. Everybody watch as Suo keep clowning him, suggesting they both start acting like grown-ass adults now. Kanuma is scared as hell because he can't understand how Suo got behind him so damn quick. He decide to attack faster, but just end up getting tossed to the ground. Every attempt at landing a hit fails, and Kanuma getting even more frustrated when Suo keep insulting him. Suo just playing with this dude, and Nairi is amazed because he making it look like his opponent tripping all on his own. The crowd getting annoyed with Kanuma and telling him to stop letting himself get played. Kanuma think about how they ain't got a damn clue what it's like to have every damn move you make easily countered, and he wish they could try and throw down with Suo. Yumemiya realize Suo ain't no regular gentleman, and Sakura points out he ain't got an ounce of kindness. He is hella ruthless, tormenting a weaker opponent and making him look like a damn fool. Kanuma gets straight up wrecked, so makes it clear how big the skill gap is between them. Sakura says he'd want to end himself if he was Kanuma, but of course he ain't ever gonna be in that position. Haragi is surprised to see Suo trying to prove a point in this fight, and Yumemiya figures it's because he got influenced by someone else. Nairi realize that too and think about how Suo want to keep up with Sakura. Suo's fight got Sakura's attention, so he wondering how he can get Suo to seriously throw down with him. The fight keeps going, but it's clear as day that Suo playing with Kanuma. Suo barely got a move to dodge all his attacks, and he dropped Kanuma once again. the crowd turning against Kanuma, and he is horrified when he sees that Tomiyama has fallen asleep watching the fight. What's even worse is that Togami ain't impressed at all, and he remembers what happened to that weakling under the bridge. Kanuma starts panicking, and his heart racing like crazy. Suo sees this better than anyone, and he explains that Kanuma finally starting to figure out what it takes to be a grown-ass adult. Kanuma losing his damn mind, so he goes in for an attack, but Suo shut him down right then and there. Kanuma was shocked when Suo revealed he already knew what going on in his head. Suo assumes Kanuma imagining himself turning into the person he used to mock. And that's good for him because the answer to being an adult is imagination. Kanuma is scared as hell, but Suo calmly points out he can move on to the next step now. Suo keep being ruthless with his teaching, explaining to Kanuma that he need one more thing to turn his imagination into reality. Suo gets ready to attack, so Kanuma begs him to stop. Right then Togami asks Suo to end the fight. Kanuma doesn't get why, so Togami just tells him he humiliated them enough. Togami corrects himself though, because Kanuma can't humiliate them no more because he ain't part of Lion's Head anymore. This was Kanuma's worst nightmare, and his imagination just became reality. Suo's final lesson is that being an adult means being able to feel for others. To do that, you need imagination and experience. Suo is actually happy for Kanuma because at least he learned something. As Suo bounces, the Lion's Head crowd is dead quiet after witnessing those straight-up violations. And to top it off, they realize Suo's just a freshman at Furin. They're starting to get that messing with Bafurin will be a big mistake. Umemiya gives props to Suo for that mind-blowing victory, saying he's hella strong. But Suo doesn't see himself as all that impressive. On the other hand, Nairi is beyond impressed because he's never seen anyone move like Suo. He asks if it's Kung Fu or some other martial arts style, but Suo can't really answer because he don't know. His instructor was self-taught, so he mixed in a little bit of every martial art. But that aside, Hiragi points out how damn surprising it was to see Suo get all emotional. He's a bit embarrassed that he went so far as to humiliate Kanuma, but he did it for Sakura's sake. Sakura doesn't want to take the blame for Suo's actions, but he warns Suo to take the fight seriously if they ever throw down. Nairi's getting tired of Sakura always thinking about fighting everyone, but Suo doesn't really want to tango with him because he knows Sakura would be a pain in the ass in a real brawl. Hearing that Sakura loses his cool and almost jumps on Suo, Nairi has to use all his strength to hold him back, and Umemiya's just glad everyone's getting along, if you can even call it that. Right then they peep Kanuma dragging his bestie's unconscious body across the floor, looking like a total wreck. Once Yukinari finally wakes up, he looks over at Kanuma, who seems like he's about to lose it. So he crawls over and asks if Kanuma lost his fight too. Kanuma can only muster up the words "it's over" because now that they both got their asses handed to them in front of the Lion's Head crew, they'll be punching bags for everyone else from now on. Tomiyama's still pumped as ever, and now he wants to throw down with Suo too. But Togami wants to keep things in order, so he asks who's up next for their fight. Sakura finally thinks it's his damn time to shine. But as he stands up and turns to Togami to head onto the stage, some other dude stands up and straight up points at Hiragi because he wants to throw down with him next. Hiragi still has some unfinished business with Sako, so he apologizes to Sakura because he gotta take the next fight. Sakura ain't having it because since both of the other first years got their chance to brawl, so there ain't no reason why his turn should be skipped. Hiragi brings up the fact that Sakura's supposed to fight Togami, but the dude doesn't look ready to rumble yet, so Sakura gotta wait a bit longer. Since Togami's the second in command at Lion's Head, it's usually Hiragi's job to throw down with him. But that doesn't mean he ain't got faith that Sakura can come out on top. The compliment straight up calms Sakura's anger towards Hiragi, but he's still pissed at the other dude for cutting in line and calling out Hiragi like that. Nairi thinks maybe the guy knows Hiragi from somewhere, but none of them know why they got beef because Hiragi doesn't talk about himself much. Meanwhile, as Sako's making his way up on stage, Tomiyama wishes him good luck in his fight, but Togami gotta be all condescending and asks if something went down between him and Hiragi, because Sako usually ain't one to pick fights willingly. But Sako just ignores Togami and keeps walking. Once the two are standing across from each other, Hiragi starts chatting, saying Sako did grow since the last time they crossed paths, but it's a damn shame he's repping Lion's Head now because this fight's inevitable at this point. Sako stays silent throughout, and Tomiyama's bored of all the talking. so he straight up yells at them to start throwing down already. Since they're starting, Haragi puts his hands up, and Sako straight up charges at him, throwing a barrage of punches and kicks, but Haragi is straight up blocking them all like a pro. Sako keeps bringing the heat with his attacks, but by the end of his combo, Haragi ain't got any damage on him. Sako backs off for a second and tells Haragi not to look down on him like he used to because the old Sako is gone, and he's about to prove it right here. He straight up charges back in with a front kick, and Haragi ain't letting it slide either. But damn neither of them making any damn progress in this fight because they ain't landed a solid hit yet. Then in the middle of one kick, Sako grabs his own leg and redirects the kick, barely missing Haragi's face, and Haragi's mind is impressed. Nairi's freaking out because Haragi's playing defense, and the Lion's Head crew are all in, rooting hard for Sako to take down Haragi. Even Tagami's mind blown by how sick Sako's fighting skills are. But Tomiyama ain't thinking it's all that strange because he personally chose Sako as one of his top 5 dogs. Tagami has to admit that while he may not get Sako as a person, he's fought the most out of anyone here and nearly burned himself out when he first joined Lion's Head. Back to the stage, Sako's still bobbing and weaving Haragi's attacks, but he's taking the time to call him out for having zero style, just relying on brute strength. Sako's saying Haragi ain't changed one damn bit, but Haragi can see the transformation in Sako, especially with how chatty he's getting right now. Haragi remembers Sako never opening his mouth the whole damn time he was teaching him how to throw down. But bringing up the past pisses Sako off and makes him charge at Haragi one more time. But this time he's speeding up like crazy. He catches Haragi off guard, knocking him back with a kick to the damn face. Everybody's jaws drop seeing Haragi get knocked out so damn easily. Sako stands tall over him, wondering when the hell Haragi got so weak. He blames Haragi's weakness on hanging out with all these damn Furin clowns. Sakura starts getting mad, but not at Sako, rather he's pissed at Haragi for letting himself get dropped like a punk. Suo finds the whole damn thing funny, but mostly because Sakura's starting to show more love for his crew. Sakura gets all embarrassed by Suo's comment and claims he was just pissed because Sako was clowning them. But Yumemiya steps up and tells everyone to chill because it ain't over yet. Then he turns to Sako and reminds him that Haragi is one of the 4 kings of Boffurin, and specifically he is their Tamonten. So he asks if Sako knows what Tamonten is also called. Sako doesn't get the point of that dumbass question, but when a hand lands on his shoulder, he's straight up shocked to see Haragi back on his feet, ready to throw down. It's been a minute since he got kicked like that, so he really felt it. But he knows it made him look weak as hell. He gives props to Sako for getting so damn strong since their last encounter, like a whole new person. But as the Tamonten of Boffurin, he gotta flex a little, so he pops his stomach meds and gets ready for round 2. We go way back to middle school when Sako was caught up in some serious bully drama. The dude was just trying to do his own thing and getting good grades, but these haters couldn't stand him shining. They came at him hard, throwing down fists like there was no tomorrow. But then Haragi swoops in like a hero to save the damn day. Fast forward to the present fight. The shit is turned into a straight up slugfest. Both sides throwing punches left and right, taking hits and dishing them out. The crowd's faces frozen in amazement at what's going down. Even Sakura can't wrap his head around how freaking strong Haragi is. Suo lets Sakura know that Haragi had to be a beast to earn a spot as one of Boffurin's kings. The whole damn town knows he's a force to be reckoned with. But Suo's convinced that Haragi cranked it up a notch all because of Sakura. The fight keeps going, and while it seems pretty even, Haragi starts gaining the upper hand and straight up knocks the focus out of Sako's eyes with a hell of a kick. Sako can't figure out how the hell Haragi's still so damn strong compared to him, even after all the training he went through to improve himself, especially since he has been chilling and living the easy life with his friends here. We flash back to Sako's middle school days right after Haragi beat the crap out of those bullies. Sako couldn't wrap his head around why Haragi went out of his way to help him. Haragi didn't think he needed much of a reason to lend a hand to someone getting jumped. But he tells Sako straight up that he needs to learn to stand up for himself because that's the only way he gonna handle bullies like those. He reaches out a hand to help Sako get back on his feet, but instead of taking it, Sako grabs his sleeve and begs Haragi to teach him how to throw down. Haragi agrees, and from that day on, Sako trains hard with him and holds a ton of respect for him. It ain't like Haragi was trying to gather followers or nothing, but people naturally looked up to him because of his raw strength, and Sako was damn proud to be one of them. On the day Hiragi graduated from middle school, Sako was straight up grilling him for getting into Furin. He was convinced Hiragi would be on some next level shit there. But damn, all that grilling got too damn heavy for Hiragi to handle. So he straight up tells Sako not to tag along. He knows once he steps foot in Furin he gonna be under this dude Umamiya. He can't live up to Sako's sky-high expectations. He wants Sako to find his own real goal instead of being his damn fanboy. Sako can't wrap his head around what the hell just went down. His idol essentially ditched his ass. So he takes out all that frustration by straight up whooping the asses of a local gang all by his damn self. And while he's standing there surrounded by bodies, Togami and Tomiyama roll up on him. They hella impressed by his skills and offer him a spot on their crew. Sako asks if they got strong people on their team, and Togami's like, hell yes, strength is everything to us. The stronger you are, the higher you climb. But Sako doesn't give a damn about no hierarchy shit. He just wants to fight strong people, so he can get stronger and make Hiragi regret dumping him. That's why he straight up refuses to lose to Hiragi in this damn fight. Unlike Hiragi, he ain't been wasting time making friends, but he's been improving himself to be stronger than Hiragi. He charges forward trying to catch Hiragi off guard from below. Hiragi throws a punch to counter, but Sako pulls a slick-ass move, backflipping right over him and getting ready to land a punch. But damn, Hiragi ain't falling for that shit. He straight up boots Sako in the damn face, Sako's feet wobbling after that kick, but he ain't letting himself lose to someone who's satisfied being anywhere but the top. He tries to throw another punch, but this time Hiragi straight up catches it and apologizes to Sako for not being able to live up to his expectations. And right after that, he lands a punch so damn powerful that it gets Sako's soul searching real deep about why he was so damn angry. He knows Hiragi was looking out for him when he suggested finding a new goal, but he was being selfish as hell. He ain't want to hear Hiragi tell him not to tag along because all he wanted was to stick by Hiragi's side no matter what. He doesn't give a damn if he ain't the top dog or some shit. All he wants is for Hiragi to ask him to come along. Sako collapses on the ground, making Hiragi the clear victor of the fight. Everyone's still in shock from the crazy-ass show they just witnessed. Togami wastes no time getting up and calling for someone to haul Sako's ass off the stage because he lost. But after seeing how well Sako fought, they all got too much respect for him to do something so damn disrespectful. And to help his boy out, Hiragi offers to carry Sako off the stage, lifting him up on his shoulders and gently dropping him on the floor. Togami half-heartedly thanks Hiragi for the help, but mentions he didn't need to be so gentle with a loser's body. And since Sako lost, Togami tried to remove his lion's head jacket, but Hiragi grabs his hand, stopping him and says, "You might want to hold off on that shit till after your match. You never know what could happen." And before Hiragi bounces, he drops some knowledge on Togami, saying that running the team the way he is ain't gonna make them stronger. He walks his ass back to his seat, and Umamiya congratulates him on the win. But Hiragi is surprised because Umamiya ain't asking about Sako and what the deal is between them. Umamiya knows Hiragi probably don't want to talk about it, so he ain't gonna bother asking right now. He tells Hiragi he can spill the whole story when he's ready. But for now, they should just focus on watching the next fight. We watch Togami drifting off, reminiscing about the past. Tomiyama snaps him back to reality, reminding him it's his turn. Togami tells Sakura to get ready, and the whole squad goes wild as Sakura declares he already is. The cheers get intense, and Suo points out they're going way harder than before. Everybody sending Sakura good vibes in their own way, and Umamiya tells him to have a deep conversation. Sakura remembers a fight being like a talk, but he ain't even sure what that means. But screw all that because Sakura reminds himself he told the kid to trust him with everything. Sakura just wanna wrap up the fight quick, but Togami wanna take his time and savor it. The two fighters gear up, and the crowd goes absolutely nuts with anticipation. Sakura tries to throw the first punch, but Togami straight up tackles him. Togami almost lands a bone-chilling punch, but Sakura manages to escape. The crowd cheers even louder, and Sakura gotta pull himself together from the shock of what just went down. Hiragi thinks about how Sakura been showing off his badass fighting skills these past few days, but Togami is the one keeping all them crazy lion's head dudes in line. He was only able to do that because he mad strong. Sakura points out Togami moving pretty damn fast for a dude who wanna take his time, but Togami doesn't even consider that a fast pace. Togami decides he gonna keep at this speed till Sakura can keep up, and Sakura is down to play along. They keep throwing down, and everyone's mind blown by Togami's insane speed. Nairi wondering if Sakura had more than just dodges in his arsenal. Umemiya breaking it down that Togami and Tomiyama always been the standouts among the Lion's Head crew. That means Togami on a whole nother level compared to the other dudes, and he damn sure Sakura is feeling that better than anyone right now. Just then Nairi goes all out celebrating as Sakura manages to land a hit, and Togami impressed he already catching up. But Sakura still ain't fast enough because Togami slams him down, and damn he nearly crushes his skull. Togami remembers how Sakura dissed him in the tunnel, calling him lame. He explains that it really gets under his skin. Just then Sakura pulls off a sweet leg sweep on Togami, but Togami ain't having it and smashes Sakura's face into the ground. The crowd goes wild with cheers, but Nairi is freaked out. Togami pretty disappointed to see Sakura knocked out cold so easily, so he lets him know that he's way lamer than he ever could be. Sakura tries acting all cocky, but Togami schools him, saying only folks with power can act like that. Togami assumes Sakura is fronting because he's rolling with a strong crew, but when he is all by himself, he has no voice. Hearing that makes Sakura furious, so he swings at Togami. Togami points out that he's still talking, but Sakura breaks free and keeps throwing down. Sakura agrees that freedom is only for those with power. Without it, you can't be true to yourself. As Sakura making his stand, everyone shocked when he lands a solid kick. Togami seems to see Sakura as one of the people Sakura hates the most, so Sakura decides he can't lose to him no matter what. Sakura taking control of the fight now, and the crowd go dead silent, witnessing Sakura's sudden transformation. Nairi always knew Sakura had strength, but even he didn't see this coming. Sakura is mad as hell, reminding Togami that losing to him means Togami is dead wrong about everything. The Lion's Head obsession with power would mean nothing. Sakura keeps bombarding Togami with attacks and finishes it off with a mega powerful kick straight to Togami's face, leaving everyone stunned. Togami tells Sakura not to get all cocky, and he counters with a devastating kick of his own, sending Sakura flying. Togami explains that their devotion to power ain't no joke. Everyone cheering as he proclaims all Lion's Head dudes always strive to level up. Togami stomps on Sakura's head, declaring that the Lion's Head guys way more powerful than those wannabe superheroes like the Boffurin crew. The whole crowd celebrating because they think Sakura down for the count, but soon knows the fight ain't over yet. Sakura's still kicking it somehow, and he's straight up saying the Lion's Head dudes ain't about that real power. He suggests they switch up their name to the Bully Club, because that's more their style because they enjoying beating down dudes when they already down. They even chase down middle school kids just to beat them up. Sakura ain't taking no loss from dudes like them, but Togami had enough and stomps on his head again. Nairi can't even watch, but he's shocked when the crowd goes quiet because Togami ain't stomped Sakura's head this time. Togami is clueless about what Sakura talking about, so he steps away from the fight for a second. He thought Furin step on their turf for no reason, so he demand Kanama and Arima spill the beans. They admit they was messing with the middle school kid and try to put the blame on someone else, but Togami ain't buying it. He is straight up laying a beatdown on them, and everyone just watching in shock. Togami snatched their Lion's Head jackets off their lifeless bodies, and Tomiyama just tells him to quit stalling and get back to his fight. Togami apologized to Sakura for making him wait and declare it's time to keep it going. We take a trip down memory lane to a festival. Younger Togami is surrounded by a bunch of Lion's Head dudes, but he takes them all out. He is ready to throw down with even more of them. But then Tomiyama shows up, amazed that Togami took them all down solo. Tomiyama can see Togami got mad strength, so he asks him to roll with them. Togami mad confused, so Tomiyama explain he just joined himself, but he guarantee that Togami gonna dig being part of the Lion's Head. Togami is hesitant at first, but Tomiyama keeps pushing. Time pass, and they get really tight. One day, Tomiyama asks Togami if he know what devotion to power mean. It's a promise you make to stay true to yourself, never backing down for nobody, and power is what you use to set yourself free. Word starts spreading about how unbeatable Togami and Tomiyama are as a duo. They even roll into other crews' territories solo and come out on top. They come back from one of these brawls one day, and the other crew members can't even believe they went through all that just to get revenge for one of their own. Tomiyama ain't thinking it's a big deal, because he just trying to be the freest dude ever. Ain't nobody got a clue what he talking about, so Togami break it down. They have been taught that power is the ticket to freedom. It means the dude with the most muscle is also the most free. Tomiyama and Togami having a race to see who can be the ultimate free dude, so he hyping up the rest to join in. Togami thinking about how Tomiyama is straight up strong and having more fun than anyone else. Tomiyama like the prodigy of their devotion, like a son embodying the whole concept. Togami ain't even plan on racing Tomiyama. He just ain't good at hanging with peeps, but when he is with Tomiyama, he fits right in the crew. It's a blast, and he feeling hella liberated. Togami thought having Tomiyama as the leader would make the crew even more free, but now he see he was wrong. One day, after Tomiyama take over as the boss of Lion's Head, he thinking about how the leader gotta be the strongest and the freest. Togami is down with that idea, but Tomiyama looking all messed up because he realizes it ain't fun at all. He decides the only way to fix it is if everyone in Lion's Head is as strong as him. Togami stoked to hear that and thinks Tomiyama wanna train everybody up. Just then, some dudes from the crew roll in with a member who got wrecked by the Zinc boys. Togami ready to get revenge with Tomiyama, but he's straight up horrified when Tomiyama attacks the beaten up member. Tomiyama disappointed because the dude came back after getting crushed, and he explained that ain't gonna make him stronger. That means he can never be free, and that ain't no fun. That's when Tomiyama lay down the law that weak dudes ain't welcome in Lion's Head. He looking for Togami to agree, but Togami is still shocked. Togami is sure this ain't gonna make nobody stronger, but Tomiyama reminding him he the boss. He is the toughest and the freest, so he calling the shots. Then Tomiyama straight up tells Togami that if he ain't getting it, he better bounce. Togami straight up tripping about what he hears, but he agrees to do what Tomiyama says. He agrees to spread the word about Tomiyama's beliefs, and he even agrees to lay down the beatdown on anyone who go against them. But Togami got one favor to ask. He wants Tomiyama to always keep smiling around everyone. It's on that day that Togami decides he gonna get dirty and covered in mud, because Tomiyama is like the sun, and the sun gotta be loved by everyone, even if it means blinding them with power to be free. Togami swears he gonna keep this version of Lion's Head going till the sun shines again. Now back to the present, the dude's still going at it, but everyone's straight up shocked when Sakura starts taking charge. Sakura getting annoyed and straight up can't believe Togami being for real. He points out that Togami doesn't even seem like he wanna throw a punch or dodge his kicks. Sakura wondering what the hell Togami trying to do, and Togami can't help but wonder the same damn thing. Sakura's just dodging some of Togami's attacks, but he can sense something ain't right. There's confusion in Togami's fists. Sakura thought they picked this fight because they knew everything, but Togami clearly clueless. Sakura wants answers, so he straight up asks Togami why he started throwing punches at those dudes. He figured anyone with power could do whatever the hell they wanted in Lion's Head. But he's shocked when Togami explains that scumbags ain't welcome in this turf. Turns out Togami was trying to clean up their crew, get rid of all the scumbags. They ran into Boffurin at the bridge, and fighting Boffurin was Tomiyama's obsession. Togami thought it might bring about some change, but damn, that fight just ended up wrecking them all. Togami ain't turning back though. He made the wrong choice that rainy day, and he's sticking to this messed up path. Sakura ain't having it and asks what the hell Togami's trying to accomplish. He's shocked when Togami straight up says he wants to head to the mountains. Sakura don't give a damn about any of that. He straight up points out that Togami's one of the scumbags he's trying to get rid of. The dude's doing scumbag stuff, and Sakura thinks he's hella lame for it. Sakura wants Togami to realize that himself, so he's gonna do it by winning this fight. Once that happens, Sakura's certain Togami will stop being a lame ass and become an awesome dude he can actually fight against. Togami thinks Sakura's being selfish, but Sakura don't give a damn. That's just how it goes when you push your will through in a fight. As Sakura launches his attack, he declares that no matter how strong his opponent is, even if they saved his life, he never looks away or changes who he is. That shit triggers Togami's memory once again. He remembers how shocked he was when Tomiyama told him he could bounce from Lion's Head if he didn't like his vision. Togami decided to do all the dirty work so Tomiyama could keep smiling with everyone. Sakura's attack lands, and so do his words. Togami starts laughing as he gives props to Sakura for pushing his buttons really good. Togami throws a punch at Sakura, and Sakura's glad because he can tell Togami's finally getting serious. Sakura throws the nickname Shaggy at him, but Togami ain't having it. He kicks off his sandals, getting ready for a real deal fight, and demands to be called by his real name. Togami's finally ready to throw down, so he calls Sakura by his name and tells him it's time to fight. These two fighters go all out, landing mad attacks on each other. The crowd goes dead silent, watching this straight up brawl go down. Ain't no holding back from either of them. But the crowds freaked out because they noticed Sakura and Togami both laughing their asses off, even though they're beating the crap out of each other. Shit gets real brutal as they straight up wreck each other with a barrage of attacks, but they're both loving every second of it. Suo's watching in awe because he had no clue Sakura was this damn good in a fight. Nairi don't really get why, but he's tearing up because their fights touched his heart for some reason. Even Hiragi and Yumemiya are impressed with Sakura. But Tomiyama's just silently watching the whole thing. Sakura keeps going at it, but something's messing with his head. He's supposed to be fighting some dude who does lame-ass stuff, so he can't figure out why fighting Togami feels so damn right. Sakura's also surprised because he's never been called by his name during a fight before. Togami's doing some thinking of his own, noticing that Sakura's having a damn good time in this brawl. And that ain't all, because he can tell Sakura's moving better with each damn moment. Togami can't even hide his own enjoyment. He tells Sakura to bring it on, and they both charge at each other. The fight hits its peak when they both kick each other square in the face at the exact same time, and collapse to the ground. Nairi's horrified, but these two fighters just keep laughing. Togami never knew fights could be this damn enjoyable, and Sakura feels the same way. They've been at it long enough though, so they decide to end this madness. These two charge at each other once again, getting ready to throw their most powerful punches. But then Togami starts thinking about what Sakura said, how he ain't ever gonna change who he is for anyone. And that shit hits Togami hard because he realizes he should have fought back against what Tomiyama told him that day. But instead he looked away and didn't stay true to himself. Togami couldn't push through his own identity, but he sees that potential in Sakura. He knows Sakura's gonna become even stronger because he ain't afraid to assert his own will. No matter who he's up against, Togami just hopes Sakura never loses that. So he decides to hold back on throwing his punch, and in his mind, he thanks Sakura for helping him understand. Sakura's punch actually lands, and Togami declares he can't move no more and gives up. The crowd's stunned because they ain't never heard those words from Togami. The dude who charges in laughing even in dangerous situations. Even the Bofferin guys are speechless. But Sakura's really pissed off because he doesn't get why Togami's just giving up like that. He ain't happy with how the fight ended, and demands to know why Togami chose to lose on purpose. Sakura gets interrupted by hyped-up Tomiyama, who says he wants to fight Sakura someday. But right now Tomiyama's ready to throw down with Yumemiya. Togami urges Tomiyama to call off the whole fight because he's realized he was in the wrong. Tomiyama's too amped about fighting Yumemiya to listen, so Togami keeps insisting. But then shit gets real when everyone's shocked to see Tomiyama attacking Togami and telling him to shut the hell up. Tomiyama claims Togami lost, so he gotta quiet down. And that sets Sakura off big time. He goes to punch Tomiyama, but out of nowhere Yumemiya shows up and stops him. Yumemiya explains it's time to switch places, but Sakura's so damn angry he can't back down. Yumemiya points out that Sakura must have had a deep-ass conversation, and defending Togami is proof of that. Togami is then shocked when Yumemiya asks if he can just leave the rest to him. Togami gives the green light, so he bounces from the stage, and Sakura does the same. Sakura, in his usual pissed-off mode, straight up tells Yumemiya that he's gonna whoop his ass if he loses to Tomiyama. As Sakura struts off the stage, he can't wrap his head around why he's feeling so damn angry about Togami getting attacked. He ponders how Yumemiya seemed all stoked about him having a proper conversation, but Sakura still can't get it, because he didn't hear no words from his fists. Nairi catches Sakura before he falls, and the crew welcomes him back. Hiragi knows Sakura ain't digging how the fight ended, but he breaks it down that it was Togami's way of settling things. And on top of that, Hiragi gives props to Sakura for doing real damn well. But Sakura still doesn't know how to take a compliment. Tomiyama's pumped as hell about finally getting to throw down with Yumemiya, but Yumemiya wants to ask him something first. Yumemiya wants to know if Tomiyama felt anything watching Togami and Sakura go at it. Tomiyama's clueless as hell, so Yumemiya says it's a damn shame. Tomiyama doesn't know why it's a shame either, but he don't give a damn. All he knows is it ain't fair how Boffurin's got so many strong peeps, and it's nothing like Lion's Head. Tomiyama realizes everyone in his crew is weak as hell, and he figures that's why he can't be free. The crowd's straight up shocked to hear Tomiyama talking like this, and they can't believe that's how he really thinks of them. Tomiyama makes it clear he only gives a damn about power because it makes him feel good knowing that if he wins, Furin will be his. Tomiyama thinks Yumemiya's always having a blast because he's stronger and freer than anyone else in Furin. If he can prove he's stronger than Yumemiya, Tomiyama's dead certain he'll finally be free and have way more fun than anyone else. He's jumping for joy because he can finally put an end to all his boring ass days. Now Tomiyama turns to Umemiya and demands he hand over Furin. He jumps on Umemiya and lands a bunch of punches. Umemiya manages to shake him off, but Tomiyama just keeps coming at him. The Boffurin guys are left dumbfounded because they ain't never seen such reckless moves in a fight before. So thinks Tomiyama's a natural-born monster. Hiragi gets it because Tomiyama is the youngest damn leader in Lion's Head's history. Sakura's still fuming with anger, but he realizes he would have been screwed if Umemiya didn't stop his punch, but that ain't the only thing that's pissing Sakura off. He knows damn well he only beat Togami because Togami held back in the end. Sakura ain't no pushover though, and he's more determined than ever to get hella stronger. Tomiyama keeps throwing down with his wild-ass fighting style to keep Umemiya on edge. But he pauses for a second when Umemiya's got something to say. Umemiya explains that Tomiyama's gonna keep struggling if he keeps talking about what he doesn't have and trying to take things from other people. Tomiyama's had enough of Umemiya's talking though, and he thinks it's all gibberish, so he just goes in for another attack. Umemiya unleashes a punch that's so damn terrifying, and Tomiyama's gotta back the hell up. Umemiya's disappointed that Tomiyama can't understand what he's trying to say, and Tomiyama's shocked when his nose starts bleeding. Even though Umemiya's punch didn't land, Umemiya straight up declares that when it comes to someone who can't get his point, he's 100% sure he won't lose. As the fight between Tomiyama and Umemiya is getting heated, Tomiyama used his speed advantage to slip between Umemiya's legs, getting behind him, grabbing Umemiya's jacket, and pulling him back with a straight foot to the back. But damn, even though that hit should have wrecked him, Umemiya ain't even phased. Dude turns right around and throws another death punch at Tomiyama. Tomiyama is quick on his feet, dodging once again, but he can't figure out what he's doing wrong. He was damn sure he was landing solid hits on Umemiya, but the dude's health bar ain't moving an inch. Umemiya breaks it down, saying Tomiyama's punches are weak, and that shit is hella insulting. Umemiya goes on to explain that Tomiyama's punches feel weak because he fighting solo, ain't got nobody having his back, but Tomiyama still don't get why friendship matters in this whole thing. So even if his punches seem light, he's just gonna keep raining them down on Umemiya till he finally goes down. Tomiyama ain't holding back, charging in for another attack, trying to overpower Umemiya's defenses, and when he finally spots an opening, he sweeps Umemiya off his feet and lands a heavy uppercut. But damn, Umemiya's still acting like it ain't no big deal, and simply tells Tomiyama as much before spiking him against the ground. The crowd is silent as hell, watching Tomiyama struggling to get back up, and once he finally manages to stand, he starts throwing a desperate series of attacks, hoping to prove he is the strongest. Umemiya dodges Tomiyama's first punch and asks him what being free means to him. So while still throwing down punches, Tomiyama answers that freedom means having fun, and having fun means going up against strong dudes like they doing right now. But if this is what Tomiyama thinks is fun, Umemiya finds it hella weird that he don't look like he enjoying it at all. Tomiyama straight up clueless about what he really want in life. That's why he is all unhappy and trying to snatch Furin. And that's why Umemiya pies him, but not as hard as his sorry-ass team stuck with him as their whack leader. But no matter what his reasons are, he ended up on top here. So Umemiya gonna show him how a true leader should roll. While everyone watching, Umemiya straight up laying a beat down on Tomiyama, with no chance for him to fight back. Nairi start talking about how damn glad he is to be at Furin Academy and have Umemiya as his leader. Back on stage, Tomiyama still ain't getting what Umemiya means when he's saying he should treat his peeps better. There was a time when everyone was having fun, but that was a long time ago, and he still doesn't get why things gotta change from how they used to be. Tomiyama got so much he don't understand, and he is tired of folks bringing it up. So he gives up and declares he ain't trying to steal Umemiya's crew no more. He doesn't need them or anything else. For that matter, Tomiyama's world has been dull and gray for ages, barely remembering when things turned out like this. To him, the world is all dry and icy, but nothing he do can change it. So he has been wondering what he missing to bring some color back. But now he just don't give a damn no more. He accepted that his heart a lifeless wasteland. Nothing gonna make it different. So he don't need nothing at all. Dude might have gone a little crazy, and Umemiya noticed the shift in his mindset. So as Tomiyama came at him, he just let himself get hit. Even as he gets wrecked on the ground, he ain't fighting back, and that got Sakura all pissed off. jumping up in anger. Yumamiya said he ain't losing, so why is he putting on this weak-ass act? But then Kyotaro tells Sakura to shut it, sit down, and let Yumamiya do his thing. Once Tomiyama finally wears himself out by punching Yumamiya, Yumamiya apologizes to him for backing him into a corner with such a tough question. But if he keep destroying everything around him and hurting others in his quest for answers, things always gonna stay the same for him. Tomiyama ain't trying to hear no more from Yumamiya, so he straight up bites his throat, drawing blood and all. I don't know what kind of throat exercises Yumamiya been doing, but he don't even flinch, like his windpipe getting crushed don't bother him. Instead, he trying to comfort Tomiyama and tell him the answer he looking for been inside him all along. That makes Tomiyama stop chomping on his neck. So Yumamiya asked him if he remember the last time Lion's Head and Furin got into a fight. In the end, that shit was just a big misunderstanding. But back then, when the fight got broken up, Yumamiya saw clear as day that Tomiyama was having fun with his crew. Back then, Tomiyama's punches packed a punch, unlike now, and he had a lot more heart in him back then too. Yumamiya want Tomiyama to think back to those times and realize what he gotta change. Yumamiya gets up and start getting closer to Tomiyama. So Tomiyama flinch, thinking he about to catch some payback for all the punches he threw at Yumamiya. But instead, he feels the warmth of Yumamiya's hand. Yumamiya trying his damn best to make Tomiyama remember who he used to be, because as the top dog of Lion's Head, he gotta step up his game. And to make sure he get it, Yumamiya hit him with a headbutt that knocked him the hell out. It was so damn hard that Tomiyama get thrown back into a flashback from before he became Lion's Head's leader. He was chilling, checking out a cat at the time. But then his friends called him over and started bitching about him being all spacey sometimes. They on their way to a brawl right now, so if Tomiyama wanna be their leader, he gotta get his shit together. Tomiyama apologized, but now he thinking, he don't even know who the hell they were about to fight today. Everybody freeze for a second. But then they all burst out laughing. Tomiyama's forgetful nature, and Tomiyama was having a good laugh about it as well. Those were some damn good times, and Tomiyama wished shit could stay like that forever. But as we all know, things changed real quick, and it went downhill. Tomiyama is left all alone in the dark, figuratively walking on broken glass. He ends up falling through, and that's when he finally realizes he must be dreaming. But even if it is just a dream, Tomiyama feels good getting to relive the good old days. Dude woke up and saw Togami standing there, wearing a sad face, and he don't get why. But then it hits him, it's because he lost to Yumamiya. Anyway, he starts spilling about the dream he had, where everyone was smiling and having a blast. Seeing that shit made something click in his head, and now he gets it. The only way he can truly have fun is when everyone around him having a good time too. Togami apologized to Tomiyama for not having his back when he needed it. They had no clue what he was going through, so they dipped and left him alone. Togami couldn't stand seeing Tomiyama hurting others, and he couldn't forgive him for crushing his dream. Tomiyama had no idea about Togami's dream, which was to have everyone love Tomiyama. That's why when Togami saw the look in his eyes, even though he knew it was messed up, he turned a blind eye and let Tomiyama spiral down that messed up path. But after throwing down with Sakura and learning about his ideals to never back down, Tomiyama realizes that as a Lion's Head member, he should have confronted him right then and there and made his feelings known. He apologizes again for not talking to Tomiyama and leaving him alone to deal with his confusion, because he couldn't be there for him. Tomiyama ended up losing what mattered most to him. Tomiyama tells Togami that he busted his ass to become top dog because he thought it would bring him the most fun ever. It was like chasing a treasure chest at the top of a hill. He was psyched because something fun was gonna go down once he reached it, but when he achieved his goal and opened that chest, what did he find? A big fat load of nothing. Dude felt nothing and had nothing to look forward to. And that shit scared him. He felt empty inside, and no matter what he did, he couldn't fill that void. He knew he had to fix it, but he had no clue where to start. Over time, his world got darker and darker. After struggling with it for a while, he started blaming the whole team for his lack of fun. He started thinking that it was because the whole damn team was weak and that he wasn't having a good time. So he figured if he only let strong people join Lion's Head, then they could all be free and have fun together. He tells Togami straight up that he ain't to blame for any of the shit Tomiyama lost. He finally realizes that he's the one who threw away all the dope friends he had. Thinking back to the times when he used to laugh his ass off with everyone around him, he had always been living free, but he was too blind to see what he had until it slipped away. And to make it worse, he's the one who destroyed it all with his own damn hands. If it wasn't for Togami, Lion's Head would probably be nothing but a memory by now. Togami don't want to take credit for anything, but Yumamiya told him not to mess with the people close to him. He apologizes for all the pain Togami had to go through and thanks him for trying his damn best to keep things rolling with a messed up leader like Tomiyama. You can't even imagine how heavy that burden was. So he keeps apologizing while tears start flowing down his face. Eventually, he stands up and thanks Togami one last time for all he's done, but it's time to put an end to this and make things right. He walks over to Yumamiya, who's been chilling at the edge of the stage, and takes off his jacket, leaving everyone in shock. Tomiyama lost the damn match fair and square, so he's stepping down as the leader of Lion's Head and passing the reins to Yumamiya, just like they agreed when they set up this duel. He asks Yumamiya to please take care of everyone there for him. But Yumamiya never wanted to be in charge of Lion's Head in the first place. That dumb bet was all Tomiyama's idea from the start, and Yumamiya never planned on taking over if he won. Plus, he ain't looking to deal with a big-ass crew, because he already got his hands full with all that hierarchy crap, and he straight up hates boring stuff like that. But since Tomiyama keeps insisting, Yumamiya offers an alternative. From now on they'll all just be friends with each other, and they can call today's fight a damn group hangout session or something. With that, he addresses the crowd and thanks them all for showing up to watch the fight. The crowd is hella confused, but for the first time in a while, Tomiyama genuinely laughs because Yumamiya's hilarious as hell. And now that everything's settled, Yumamiya tells everyone to pack up and head home. After that, Yumamiya asks if there are any good takeout joints nearby, and when questioned why he wants to know, Yumamiya straight up says he wants to throw an after-party to celebrate the end of the tournament. So once they bounce from the theater, everyone heads up to the rooftop where they lay out some cardboard and have a feast. Yumamiya is feeling the food so much that he starts chowing down like a beast, while the others take more chill bites. Nairi can't believe they still got appetites after going through all that, and Suo ain't touched a damn thing either. So Nairi's glad he ain't the only one here with no hunger. But Suo says he's just on a diet, that's why he ain't eating. Meanwhile, Sakura is trying to figure out how the hell Yumamiya can calmly eat with Tomiyama after the beatdown they just had. If you can even call what Tomiyama was doing a fight. Sakura knows he could never forgive someone for pulling that kinda crap. But Yumamiya don't seem to give a damn. Actually, he's more concerned about the fact that Togami ain't touched no food yet. So he asks Togami if everything's cool with him. Togami's been deep in thought, so he puts his plate down and bows his head to apologize to everyone. He knows that this whole tournament mess was his fault. From the initial clash to the falling apart of Lion's Head group as a crew, Tomiyama also feels like he's to blame for all of it. So he bows his head too, apologizing for what he did. Since they're making apologies, Yumamiya leaves it up to Sakura to decide whether to forgive Togami and Tomiyama because he's still got some beef with them. Togami says he's ready to accept whatever punishment Sakura dishes out, and Sakura still ain't cool with what Togami did when they first crossed paths. But he also realizes that Togami ain't all bad after their fight. So Sakura just tells Togami to make sure he becomes a decent person from now on. Togami promises, and Yumamiya declares that the whole thing is officially settled, and he goes back to his eating. Yumamiya's having a blast, so Tomiyama asks him how the hell he always manages to enjoy himself as the big shot of Furin. Yumamiya says it's because he's all about that good food, but it's only truly fun when he can eat down with his crew and crack jokes. That's why he's having a blast right now. And it ain't got nothing to do with being the top dog at all. Tomiyama gets what Yumamiya is saying because he remembers how much fun he used to have before he became the top dog of Lion's Head. But he mistakenly thought he'd have even more fun if he climbed higher in the ranks. He's clueless as to why he couldn't see that he already had everything he needed. Yumamiya tells him it ain't his fault because folks naturally don't realize how good they got it until they lose it all. Thankfully, Tomiyama realized his mistake before losing everyone he cared about. And Yumamiya's glad he can have fun again. Tomiyama's got one more question for Yumamiya and asks why the hell he chose to become the top dog of Furin, knowing it wouldn't be any more fun than his regular status. And that's because he wanted to make sure everyone was happy and smiling so they could all be happy together. He thought about what he could do to help the whole damn town and ultimately decided to become the top dog. Becoming the top dog was never the goal, but it lets him do what he really wants, and that's making sure everyone's always happy here. If there was another way, Yumamiya probably wouldn't have gone for the top dog position. But if he had done that, he would never be able to share meals with everyone here. Tomiyama admires Yumamiya for understanding what he wanted even before becoming the top dog. But Yumamiya sets the record straight and says he never became the top dog. He was appointed. You can't just claim the title by yourself because it's something you earn with the support of the people around you. They all believed in the goal Yumamiya was working toward and helped him achieve it. So no matter how tough or unfair things get, he swears he won't let them down. After chowing down, Yumemiya gives Tomiyama and Togami a peace out, saying he had a damn blast and would be stoked if they visit Furin sometime. As a cool gesture, Yumemiya pulls a bread roll out of his pocket and offers it to Tomiyama as a parting gift, and Tomiyama gladly takes it. Once Yumemiya and the crew bounce, Tomiyama and Togami are left on their own. Tomiyama starts spilling about how he knows saying sorry can't fix the mess he caused, but he's clueless about how to make things right or if he even can at this point. He's scared as hell of losing his friends. Togami gets where Tomiyama's coming from because he's done some messed up shit too. He knows that just saying sorry ain't enough to make it up, but that's exactly why they gotta face their mistakes head on. Togami's got Tomiyama's back, and he suggests they team up and fix things no matter how damn tough it gets. Back in Bafurin territory, the kid they saved at the start of this whole mess has been waiting outside Tachibana's cafe. And as soon as he spots the guys rolling back from battle, he bolts toward them. Yumemiya can't freaking believe Sasaki's been waiting here the whole damn time, but he reassures him that there's no need to stress because the job's been handled. They all step into the cafe, and Tachibana was expecting to have to whip out the bandages after the epic fight she thinks they had, but she's hella surprised to see that everyone's already been patched up. Except for Suo because he didn't let Kanama lay a finger on him, not even once. On the flip side, Sakura got messed up bad. She welcomes them back, but Sakura can barely look her in the eye because he's finally realized she was right. She told him straight up that he can't become the top dog on his own. Yumemiya pulled it off because he had people holding him down, but Sakura's whole reason for showing up here was just to be the top dog. So now he's all messed up in his head, having an identity crisis, and just wants to bounce. But before he can even step out the door, Yumemiya snatches him up, ain't letting him bail that easy. Yumemiya tells Tachibana to whip up some of her special coffees to throw a dope celebration. Sakura starts bitching about not needing to be there because there ain't shit worth celebrating in the first place. But when Yumemiya's got something to say, there's always a reason to party. So Yumemiya names this day Conversation Day in honor of Sakura, because he did have his first talk fight with Togami. It doesn't make sense to Sakura or anyone else, but that ain't the only reason Yumemiya wants him to stick around. He's got something to discuss with Sakura. Sakura used to think he could become the top dog just by being strong, but now he knows he was dead-ass wrong. And right now, Yumemiya wants to know how Sakura's first fight conversation went. Sakura don't really know what to say because he didn't hear shit coming from Togami's fists, but Yumemiya starts laughing because he realizes Sakura must have got it all twisted. When he said fights can be conversations, he didn't mean you start hearing voices from fists flying. He meant that fights are a primal way of communicating, a way to talk about basic shit like love or hate. When Sakura hears the word love, he spits out his coffee, and it goes straight into Yumemiya's eyes. Kyotaro's ready to jump in and defend his boss from Sakura's caffeinated attack, but the others calm him down because it was an accident. Tachibana don't give a damn if it was an accident though. She tells them they gotta clean up their own damn mess. As Yumemiya wipes himself off, he gives more context to what he said earlier and asks Sakura if he started liking Togami after their fight conversation. That's the only reason Sakura would have tried to avenge him after Tomiyama knocked him out. That's how Yumemiya knows Sakura was able to have a good conversation with him through their fists. Sakura can't deny that he started to understand Togami a bit better after that fight, but he don't get why it's such a big deal in the first place. Yumemiya just says he's freaking happy for Sakura. He heard someone interesting was rolling into town, and he thought it must be Sakura. And after spending these few days together, Yumemiya can say with 100% certainty that Sakura's a solid dude. And when a solid dude like Sakura shows up, Yumemiya's always down to throw a celebration. If that's the case, then Hiragi suggests they could have just called it a welcoming party for Sakura instead of a conversation party, and Yumemiya thinks that's a freaking great idea. Sakura still can't wrap his head around how these peeps here are so damn accepting of him, especially how Yumemiya can just pull him to his side like it's nothing. Sakura came here with one goal in mind: to snatch that top dog title from Yumemiya. But now he knows that shit ain't happening. Ain't nobody ever accepted him before, which is why he swore to get strong all by his damn self. He came here to prove himself, claim that #1 spot, and feel validated in his lonely-ass pursuit of strength. But turns out, you need the support of others just to have a shot at being the top dog. And because Sakura can't accept other peeps, he's never gonna reach that #1 spot. But hold up, Nairi cuts Sakura off right there and corrects his statement about not being able to accept others. Because when Sakura first met Nairi and got his ass handed to him, he still had the balls to say Nairi wasn't lame. And that shit made Nairi really happy. Nairi forgets the rest of what he wanted to say, but Sakura still gets the message loud and clear. Then Yumemiya straight up asks Sakura if he knows what it takes to have a conversation with your fists, and Sakura's clueless. So Yumemiya breaks it down for him. To have a real talk with your opponent, you gotta be willing to face them and actually want to get to know them. And Sakura was able to do just that. Yumemiya ain't saying Sakura gotta suddenly accept everyone around him, but if he wants to learn how to accept peeps, he at least needs to start by facing them head on. The fact that Sakura was able to do that with Togami is proof that he still wants to believe that folks around him can be good, and if he can learn to accept people, he can achieve any damn thing he sets his mind to, even becoming the top dog. The warm smiles from the peeps around him reassure Sakura that not everyone's as trash as he thought, even though it's hella embarrassing for him. So he blurts out that when he becomes the top dog, it means he defeated Yumemiya, and that's definitely true. But Yumemiya just laughs it off and says it's a problem for future him to deal with. Just then, Kyotaro gets up and grabs a damn chair, ready to chuck it at Sakura because he's been getting hella jealous of all the bonding Sakura's been doing with Yumemiya. Hiragi's holding him back, but Sakura's all set to throw down if Kyotaro wants to. And Tachibana just straight up yells for them to take that shit outside if they really want to fight. The next day, Sakura steps out onto the street, still feeling the aftermath of his brawl yesterday. But right now, the only thing on his mind is Yumemiya's advice about trying to get to know the folks around him. As he's walking, Suo and Nairi roll up from behind to greet him, and that straight up shocks Sakura. They've been hollering at him for a while now, and even though they didn't mean to startle him, Suo thinks Sakura's reactions are freaking hilarious. They all strut to class together, but as they cruise through the halls, Nairi peeps that everyone's eyeballing them, making him a little jittery. Suo says it's totally normal for people to stare after what went down yesterday, and Sakura couldn't give a damn about what others think of him anyways, so he straight up ignores them and opens the class door. But as soon as he does that, he's swarmed by a mob of students who all want to hear about the fight between Suo and Sakura from yesterday. But neither Suo nor Sakura want to waste time explaining all the details, so they dump the task on Nairi's shoulders. But just as Nairi is about to spill the whole story, some dude from the back of the class wants in on the conversation. It's the same dude who was pumping iron when Sakura first arrived, and Nairi recognizes him as Teiga. According to Nairi, Teiga might be a bit weird, but he's just as skilled as Suo or Kyotaro, so he ain't nothing to mess with. Teiga ignores Sakura and starts grilling Suo about whether he's finally ready to give him the answer he's been asking for. Suo still ain't ready to spill any shit, and Teiga's cool with that for now because he's got something he wants to ask Sakura. He flexes his muscles and throws the question at Sakura, asking about his virtue. Teiga asks every dude he meets about this because he believes it's important. Every man's gotta have an ideal they live by, and he's curious about Sakura's. Nairi gets it because he's obsessed with gathering info about the folks he likes. For example, he knows that Teiga always rocks his right shoe first and chugs nothing but protein shakes. Teiga's blown away that Nairi knows so much about him even though they never met before. But he respects the dedication to stalking, so he takes a liking to Nairi. Sakura thinks Teiga is hella weird, so he ain't sure if he's actually strong, but Suo guarantees that Teiga is the real deal. Though Suo ain't really feeling the dude either. Since folks gathered around to hear Sakura's story, Teiga suggests they all hang out after school to chat about virtue instead, but suddenly everyone starts acting all busy, so they straight up decline and bounce. Then Kyotaro rolls up in the room, takes one look at Teiga, and decides he wants no part in whatever the hell he got going on. So he turns and heads straight to his desk. Teiga asks the three of them to join him instead, but Sakura and Suo ain't down for it. However, Nairi ain't taking no for an answer and drags them along anyway. They all end up at Teiga's favorite spot. The joint looks like some WWE restaurant, so Sakura doubts they got any tasty eats in here. But when Teiga shows him one of the menu items, Sakura peeps that the food actually looks damn good. Teiga wonders if Sakura's all about food because that could be his virtue. But Sakura tells him he ain't particularly interested in food. Teiga notices that Sakura ain't up for talking about his virtue, so he straight up challenges him to a fight instead. That catches Sakura's attention, but Teiga ain't mad or nothing. He just remembers how badass Sakura looked when he declared he'd be the top dog of Furin. So there's no way he don't have some kind of virtue in him. But if he ain't feeling talking about it with words, then Teiga wants Sakura to show him with his fists instead. Sakura is all in for a good fight, but their attention gets pulled to the front door as one of their classmates walks in. Sakura recognizes Mitsuki, but he also peeps that dude's holding hands with a girl. Sakura ain't never done that before, so he feels defeated and hangs his head. Mitsuki greets his classmates, but as soon as he spots Taiga, he decides to take his date to the back of the restaurant to keep as far away from his weirdness as possible. Nairi is hyped to see Mitsuki there because it means 4 out of the 5 strongest peeps in the first year class are all chilling together at once. Taiga's stoked to see Nairi having a blast, and Nairi starts talking about how Mitsuki used to go to some fancy-ass rich kid's middle school, but that didn't stop him from straight up whooping older troublemakers all by himself. Dude's got some secret romance skills too, so it ain't no surprise he's popular with the ladies. Nairi even wonders if the girl he brought along might be his girl, but Sakura don't want to hear nothing about lovey-dovey stuff. He just wants to know how strong Mitsuki is. Taiga shouts out to Mitsuki, letting him know that Sakura wants the lowdown on him. Mitsuki turns around and locks eyes with Sakura. He's cool with chatting it up, but it'll have to wait because he's still on a damn date. Taiga ain't getting the hint though, so he keeps bothering Mitsuki to join them for a conversation right now, and he even invites the girl. But she looks scared as hell, so Mitsuki tells Taiga to cut it out. He knows Taiga ain't meaning no harm, but the dude's built like a damn truck, so if he starts hollering out of nowhere, it's gonna freak people out, obvious as hell. And if Taiga don't learn to adjust his behavior, he ain't never gonna be popular with the ladies. Taiga realizes his mistake and offers a sincere apology for scaring the girl, but since she's already freaked out, Mitsuki suggests they head to another restaurant instead. Taiga feels bad about scaring her because it goes against his own virtue, but before he can explain further, they notice some commotion going down outside. By the front door, Mitsuki and the girl have been surrounded by a gang, and when the others step out to see what's going on, Mitsuki tells them he saw a dude harassing a girl, so he laid him out and brought the girl here. But it seems the guy wanted payback, so he rounded up his buddies to track Mitsuki and the girl down. Looks like Mitsuki was just helping the girl out. So Taiga grabs his shoulder and starts telling him how freaking awesome he is. His virtue must be looking out for the ladies. But while Taiga keeps going on and on about virtue, Mitsuki tells him it ain't the time for distractions, but Taiga ain't listening. So Mitsuki was about to get sneak attacked. But luckily Sakura steps in and takes down the attacker with a kick. If there's one thing Sakura can't stand, it's folks trying to jump people in a fight, so he ain't letting them get away with it. Taiga agrees with Sakura, so they both ready to face the mob together. Suo, looking out for her safety, tells the girl to step back so she don't end up as no hostage or something. He ain't joining the fight, but he assures her that those 3 can handle it like a boss. Taiga asks Sakura if he wants to sit this one out because he's still banged up from yesterday's brawl, but Sakura never backs down from a fight. As the mob attacks, one dude goes straight for Taiga with a punch, and Taiga gets knocked the hell down. But as the guy tries to throw a second punch, Taiga grabs his hand and lets everyone know he always lets his opponent get the first hit in before he unleashes his own fury. Then he suplexes the dude in the flashiest way possible because his virtue is always stealing the freaking spotlight. Sakura thinks that's dumb, but Taiga has been weird from the start, so he just keeps fighting. Then suddenly some dude comes at Sakura from behind, so he spins around real quick and kicks the guy away. Then he starts complaining to Mitsuki about him sending folks flying in his direction. Mitsuki says he figured it'd be quicker if he just sent the attackers in Sakura's way. So when another guy tries to sneak up on him, he sends the dude flying towards Sakura. Since it's basically just Sakura and Taiga doing all the fighting, Nairi wonders if Mitsuki's pushing them their way because he enjoys it. But Suo thinks it's more about keeping the attackers far from the girl and Nairi, who can't fight for shit. Then he tells Mitsuki he ain't gotta worry about it because he got their backs. And when one guy tries to come after the others, Suo gives him a one-way ticket to the damn floor. With everything under control, the fight ends with a straight-up win for the Furin boys. And now that the fight's over, Taiga tells Sakura he can say the slogan now. Sakura ain't got a clue what he talking about, but it's understandable since he been here for only 3 days. So Taiga tells him to memorize what he is about to say. Anyone who causes pain, wrecks shit, or got evil intentions in their heart will get their asses kicked by Furin with no exceptions. And to really drive the point home, Mitsuki steps up to the dude who started this whole mess and warns him about what'll happen if he pulls some dumb shit like this again. Once they bounce, Mitsuki tells the girl she's all good now, and she's genuinely grateful for how much he and the others helped her. As she's about to split, Mitsuki mentions how he knew Sakura had to be strong after seeing him handle his fight with Togami. but he never expected Sakura to be this damn strong. Taiga brings up how Sakura's aiming to be the top dog eventually. But Mitsuki didn't know about that because he was too busy playing a game when Sakura first introduced himself. He's glad he found out about Sakura's strength before the vote for the great captain. But anyway, he wants Sakura's contact info so they can keep in touch. The others want to get his number too, but Sakura ain't never had no friends before, so he don't know how to share his info. In that case, Mitsuki says he'll just add his number to Sakura's phone. But when he opens Sakura's contacts, he sees that Sakura only got one contact named Weather, and they all think it's pretty funny. They end up giving Sakura their phone numbers, and the next day, Sakura's zoning out and staring at all his new contacts when Tachibana sneaks up behind him and asks what he's looking at. Sakura gets a jump scare and drops his phone, so Tachibana says sorry for sneaking up on him like that. But as she bends down to pick up his phone, she peeps the contacts and decides to add her number to it. Sakura acts like he don't care, but he's glad to have another name on his contact list. Then he notices he is in a group chat with all the other dudes, so if he want to ask them about the great captain thing Mitsuki mentioned yesterday, but he ain't used to texting, so he don't know when to jump in with his question. So instead, he just eats his food and heads to class to ask them directly. Since Sakura new to texting, Suo gets why he ain't got the hang of it yet, and without hearing about the great captain. A moment later, the three leaders of the second year come in: Inamoto, Kusumi, and Kaji, and Nairi's hella hyped to see them. Inamoto tells everyone they don't give a damn how they do it, but they gotta decide on the grade captain right freaking now. The grade captain is the one responsible for the class, so basically the head honcho. Suo raises his hand, so Sakura thinks he's volunteering for the position, but then Suo points in Sakura's direction and nominates him to be the great captain. Sakura tries to speak up, but everyone starts shouting that Sakura would make a dope captain. Sakura trying to say Kyotaro would be a better fit, but everyone is quick to point out he ain't cut out for that kinda role. Sakura argues that he ain't either, but the real issue is that he is an outsider. Other students ain't tripping though because Sakura done proved himself in a short time and earned their trust, plus the three skilled dudes in the class vouching for Sakura. Sue steps up and offers to be one of Sakura's right-hand peeps, suggesting Nairi for the other spot. Sakura can't even believe what's going down because the grade captain is like the cream of the crop. He reflects on how he wanted that top spot just for his ego, and it hits him that he acting like Tameyama. Right then, one of the second-year sidekicks got impatient and straight up said grade captain ain't all that special. Dudes yelling hella loud, but everyone getting shocked when he takes off his headphones and his voice goes back to normal. Turns out he has been blasting his music way too damn loud. Got folks wondering if he is about to blow out his eardrums. He decides to settle things and straight up tells Sakura to take the captain role. He points out ain't nobody expecting Sakura to be flawless, and if things don't go well, they can always swap him out for someone else. Sakura gets mad and tells the second-year captain that he should be the one deciding. But he gets hit with a bombshell when the dude explains that Kaji is the real second-year captain. Inamoto steps up and announces that Sakura gonna be the first-year captain. But Sakura is quick to remind them he ain't agreed to anything yet. Inamoto reminds Sakura he just said the captain gotta make the call, and Kaji already did. Everyone trying to reassure Sakura that he gonna be just fine, except for Kyotaro who knocked the hell out. Nairi was shocked when the second years started sharing contact info with Sakura and Suo. Inamoto mentioned there are a lot of talented first years this time around and told Sakura to give it their all in leading them. Sakura ain't got a damn clue about how to handle this, so Inamoto straight up tells him to do whatever the hell he feels like for now. But that just pisses Sakura off even more because he doesn't want anything either. Inamoto gets an idea and tells the three dudes to stick close to Kaji while he does his rounds. Nairi spills to Sakura that Kaji used to be quick to throw down in fights before middle school, so you never know what might set him off. Right then, some old lady starts crying about losing her kid, and Kaji assures her they gonna find her. Nairi's hella surprised when Kaji ends up passing the task to Kusumi. Sakura can't believe it either because they thought a badass captain would be all hands-on, like Umemiya. Nairi's worrying about the missing kid, and Sakura declares they gonna make damn sure to find her. Just then, Sakura gets shocked when he see that Suo done shared his words in the group chat. Sakura's thinking nobody gonna give a damn, but turns out everyone's hyped about it. Sakura then bumps into some freaking cat, and Inamoto shows up to reveal that the missing child is actually a missing cat. They start chasing after the feline, but that sucker ends up climbing a freaking building, and Inamoto's like, Ain't shit we can do now. But Sakura straight up shocks everyone with their parkour skills and smoothly scales that damn building. Sakura's right on the cat's tail, and Kaji's watching him closely. Sakura barely dodges smashing into someone, but still struggling to catch that damn cat. The dumb furball jumps off some sketchy bridge, and Sakura's left with nothing to do. But Sakura gets a major shock when Kaji comes out of nowhere and dives after that little devil. A few moments later, the old lady's all grateful to Inamoto for saving her cat, but he gives all the credit to Kaji. She goes to thank Kaji, but he just tells her to make sure it doesn't happen again. She promises to be more careful, and the crew gets a thank you gift. Sakura goes and asks Kaji what the hell he wants as a captain, but Kaji got zero clue what he talking about. Kaji explains he didn't even want to be captain in the first place, but only did it because his buddies wanted him to. Sakura starts to connect the dots and realizes that Kaji's situation is similar to his own. He figures that if there's no real reason for Kaji to be the captain, then maybe he doesn't have to do it. But for some strange reason, Kaji takes great offense to Sakura's words and says something about not being able to make candy if he runs out. Kaji explains that he's not good at communicating like Kusumi or rounding up the guys like Inamoto, so he relies on them. But at the same time, they rely on him too. He feels the need to live up to their expectations and does his best to do so. Sakura realizes that it's okay not to have any specific desires, but then he questions whether living up to his friend's expectations is something he really wants to do. Nairi hands Sakura the gift they received for their help and compliments him on how ninja-like he looked while chasing after the cat. Nairi knew that Sakura could be counted on because they've always been reliable. Sakura wants to confirm what Kaji told him, so he asks his friends if they chose him as grade captain because they're counting on him. Without hesitation, they confirm it and assure Sakura that he can count on them too. A little later, Sakura collapses inside Tachibana's restaurant after carrying the old lady. The old lady jokingly wonders if she's gained weight, but Sakura brushes it off. Although he looks exhausted, Tachibana notices his tired appearance and suggests that he hasn't been getting enough sleep. She hits the mark, but Sakura decides not to let her know that he spent the entire night pondering his role as captain. Sakura gets surprised when Tachibana asks if his class has chosen a captain yet. She realizes that it must be him and expresses her belief that he'll make a great captain. Sakura, however, points out that he doesn't know what to do. Luckily, Tachibana offers some simple advice. If he's unsure, he should start with what he can do. Sakura can't argue with her wise words, but tells her to stay out of it nonetheless. Tachibana continues to offer valuable advice, suggesting that remembering his classmates' names and faces is something he can do. Calling people by their names will show that he's taken the time to know them better. Sakura suddenly realizes that he hasn't been calling anyone by their names, and Tachibana encourages him to start practicing right away. Feeling overwhelmed, Sakura decides to run off. The old lady calls him bashful, but Tachibana believes that Sakura is actually afraid of forming close relationships with people. As Sakura returns to school, he asks Nairi to tell him everyone's names. His sudden interest in getting to know everyone surprises his friends, and Sakura simply explains that it wouldn't hurt to know more about them. His friends playfully question whether he even knows their names, which offends Sakura. Nairi continues naming the students, but one named Anzai appears upset and leaves the class. Just then, an announcement is made for the first captains and their secondaries to meet on the roof. Nairi eagerly wonders what it could be and urges Sakura to hurry up. When they arrive, they find that everyone else is already there, and Kyotaro is working on some gardening. Inamoto explains that the first captains and secondaries are mostly guys who were famous during their middle school days. The second-year students are mainly those who carried over their captain positions from their first year in secondary school. Suo has already talked to most of these guys, but Sakura feels overwhelmed because he now has even more names and faces to remember. Sensing Sakura's stress, Nairi begins going over everyone's names. Sakura can't believe that Nairi knows all the names of the captains, but Nairi points out that he actually knows the names and faces of everyone at the school. Even Suo is shocked to hear this, and Nairi explains that he recently borrowed the school roster to memorize all the names. Nairi knows that he isn't particularly useful in a fight, so he thought he could make Sakura's life a bit easier by memorizing everyone's names for him. He is determined to help Sakura reach the top, just as he promised. Impressed by Nairi's contribution, Suo decides that he will be their negotiator. The other guys are a bit confused, so Suo explains that he's skilled at persuading others to accept his requests. Suo declares that they should all do their best, and Sakura is impressed by how well they know their own strengths. Sakura leaves those tasks to his friends, and they are shocked when he calls them both by their names. Yumemiya shows up with more students, but Sakura becomes annoyed at the thought of having to remember even more names, especially the names of the grade captains. However, Nairi is terrified as he explains that those people are not grade captains, they are the 4 Knights of Furin High, along with their secondaries. Sakura ain't getting why Nairi's so damn hyped, so Nairi repeats that these are the 4 badass leaders of Furin High. Jikoku teams Tsubakino, Komaku teams Mizuki, Zojo teams Mamos, and of course, Taman teams Hiragi. Yumemiya thanks everyone for showing up and tells them that the people behind him will be taking charge of Furin from now on. But before he gets into all that, he's got something more important to share. His garden's been fully transplanted thanks to Kyotaro's help. So the summer barbecue is gonna be damn good. Hiragi tells Yumemiya it ain't the time to talk about his damn garden. He gathered everyone here, so the least he can do is greet the new kick-ass captains. Yumemiya wasn't planning on giving a big speech, but there's something he wants to say, so he turns to everyone and says he's counting on them. He may be strong, but he can't be everywhere at once, and he can't watch out for everyone all the damn time. So he wants them to look out for each other. Everyone promises they'll live up to Yumemiya's expectations, and then they start chatting away with each other. After a while, Yumemiya comes over to Sakura's crew, and he's stoked to see Sakura as the great captain. He also tells Nairi and Suo that he'll be counting on them too, but if any of them ever get in trouble, they shouldn't hesitate to ask their upperclassmen for help. With that, the meeting's basically done, so Sakura and the others head back to their class. Once they're back, Teiga starts asking what the hell they were called up for, so Nairi brags about meeting the 4 heavenly kings. After school, they all roll out together, and since they don't gotta go on patrol today, Teiga suggests they hit up Muscle Restaurant again. Nairi's down with that idea, but the others shut him down right away. Just then, Sakura spots a couple of dudes strolling through the streets in matching white jackets, and they look pretty damn shady, so he asks them if they're looking for something. The leader of the 3 says they happen to be looking for a dude from Furin, but none of them fit the bill, so they turn around and bounce. As they bounce, Suo spots the logo on the back of their jackets and recognizes it as the Keel crew. Suo don't know much about them, but he knows there ain't nothing but shady rumors about those guys. Right then, they all hear this old lady screaming her lungs out as she peeks into an alley and finds Anzai looking all beat up and bruised. Eventually, Anzai wakes up and sees everyone looking all worried around him, but when they bring him inside and ask what went down, he starts spitting some bullshit about getting chased by a giant dog till he knocked himself out. Ain't nobody buying that story, not even Sakura, so they press Anzai to spill what really happened. But he don't want to talk about it for some reason, and comes up with an excuse to dip. Before he bounces, Suo asks him if this has anything to do with the Keel dudes they saw earlier. Anzai tries to deny it, but his face spills the beans. He still leaves to avoid talking about it any further. But now that they know Keel was behind it because of Anzai's reaction, the others wonder how the hell Suo figured out Keel was involved. He ain't have no real reason to suspect them, but that dude earlier had the whole villainous plot vibe going on. So it was pretty damn hard not to come to that conclusion. With the info they got now, Nairi asks Sakura what the plan is. If Keel really beat up Anzai, they gotta help him out. But Sakura thinks jumping into action right away would be too damn rushed. Besides, Anzai didn't ask for their help, so maybe he don't want to drag others into this mess. Even so, Nairi still thinks it's their duty as his homies to lend a hand, even if he don't want it. And that reminds Sakura of what Yumemiya said about looking out for each other as much as possible. So he bounces in a hurry. But before he dips, the old lady offers him some food for the road as a gift. Sakura gets all flustered, but he takes it and storms off without saying another word. After spending time with Sakura, he knows deep down Sakura wants to help Anzai too, even if he'd never admit it. Elsewhere that evening, Anzai is seen chatting it up with a girl by the playground, and she's seriously freaking out about Anzai getting himself all messed up like this, but he says he can handle it. So she asks if he managed to convince Nagato to come back to their crew, but he ain't had no luck. Anzai's worried that Nagato might cross a line he can't come back from if he stays with Keel. The girl tries to get him to ask Bafurin for help, but Anzai still refuses because Bafurin is a crew that protects the whole town. This shit's personal for him, so he don't want to drag everyone into it. The girl don't want him dealing with this alone, so she offers to roll with him next time he confronts Nagato. But Anzai shuts that idea down because it's too damn dangerous for her to get involved. He tries to tell her not to worry, But after seeing how beat up he already is, there's no way she wouldn't be worried. As Anzai dips, she sits on a bench and Sakura comes up to her, asking her to spill about the talk she just had with Anzai. She's hesitant at first, but Sakura says he's in the same class as Anzai. And after checking out his Furin uniform, she knows he ain't lying. So she agrees to break it down for him. Turns out, she and Anzai have been tight since they were little kids. They used to play together all the time. Then this dude Nagato joined their crew, even though they all went to different schools. She thought they could all stay tight. Recently, she bumped into Anzai at the playground and came over to catch up. She could see he wasn't in the best shape, so she figured he got into another scrap or something. That's when she mentioned wanting to link up with Nagato again, so the three of them could hang like old times. But Anzai drops a bombshell. He tells her he got messed up by someone from a crew called Keel. He saw some dude snatching purses outside of town, so he tried to stop him and grabbed the dude's arm. But when he got a good look at the dude, he realized it was Nagato. She can't believe Nagato would do something like that. So Anzai wanted to bring Nagato here to hear his side of the story. But when Anzai came back, he was all beat up and wouldn't spill about what happened. All he said was that Keel is straight up trouble, but he also said he'd handle it on his own. She's feeling hella frustrated because her homies are in deep shit and she can't do jack to help. So she starts bawling her eyes out, and Sakura's still struggling with his emotions well, so he's at a loss for what to do. Eventually, he tells her he's gonna bring Nagito here so they can sort their shit out. The girl's relieved to hear that, even though Anzai said it's a bad idea to involve Furin. But Sakura says it'll all work out eventually, so she can leave it to him. The girl gives a little smile and thanks Sakura for being a solid dude. Then she gets up and says all this drama's got her feeling mad hungry. Sakura gets all possessive over his food and tells her she can't have any. But she wasn't even asking for his food. Sakura said he'd help her, but now he gotta figure out how. He walks into class and the crew greets him. But then he spots Anzai across the room, trying to pass off his injuries as some bear attack, and ain't nobody buying that shit. Sakura knows if he straight up asks Anzai about it, dude would just change the subject. So he ain't even bother bringing up the convo he had with Sukiya yesterday. Right then, someone from another class rolls in looking for Anzai. He goes up to him and says some creepy dude in a hood gave him a letter to deliver to Anzai. Anzai recognizes the description and starts freaking out about what the letter might say. He opens it hesitantly, and it's just as bad as he feared. So he takes off running out of there. Sakura chases after him, yelling at Anzai to wait up, but Anzai ain't stopping, so Sakura gotta jump down the stairs to cut him off. He tells Anzai he heard the whole story from Tsuchiya, so he knows the letter must be from Keel. He tells Anzai to let him take a look. And what he sees is a picture of the Keel crew holding a bloody Nagato hostage, demanding Anzai show up at the shipping yard. Anzai tries to brush it off, saying it ain't his problem. But Sakura grabs his shoulder and sincerely asks for the deets because he really wants to help. Finally, Anzai agrees to spill everything. He tells Sakura that 2 days ago he saw a Keel member snatching an old lady's purse, so he stepped in and grabbed the dude. But when he pulled the guy's hood down, he realized it was Nagato. Nagato freaked the hell out, punched Anzai in the face and dropped the purse. Anzai couldn't believe his damn eyes. So the next day he goes back to the same spot to find Nagato and gets some damn explanation. And when he finally spots him, Nagato's getting yelled at for not stealing enough cash. The dude holding him by the shirt threatens to punch him for every 1,000 yen he's short. Anzai ain't about to just sit there and watch Nagato take a beatdown. So he rushes in, kicks the leader away, and offers Nagato a hand to escape. But Nagato smacks his hand away and tells Anzai he shouldn't have come. The others hand Nagato a stick, and he takes it reluctantly. But he can see on his face he ain't happy about what he is about to do. He swings that stick and cracks Anzai across the head with it. But eventually, Anzai manages to break free and ends up in an alley where Sakura and the crew find him. Sakura can't understand why Nagato would stick with Keel after all the shit they put him through. And Anzai don't get it either. But he knows something seriously messed up if Nagato was crying like that. Back when they used to play together, Nagato never shed a tear, even when he broke his leg or they got lost in the damn forest. So Anzai can't even imagine what went down to make him cry like that. He may not know exactly why Nagato's sticking with Keel, but he knows he gotta get him out there for his own good. Sakura gets it and tells Anzai to hurry the hell up so they can save Nagato. Anzai says he doesn't want to drag Furin into his shit, but Sakura says he ain't going as a Furin member. He's going because Sukiya asked him to bring Nagato back. so it's his problem now too. At the same time, the whole damn class starts coming down the stairs because they heard the whole story. They ask Anzai why the hell he didn't tell them, and he says he didn't want Furin to get involved because they are supposed to protect the town, not deal with shit outside of it. Tega steps up and says they ain't helping him because they're Furin members. They're helping him because they're his damn friends. Even Kyotaro wakes up from his nap, all pissed off to lend a hand. Now that everything's sorted, the whole damn class heads out to the abandoned shipping yard to rescue Nagato. When Inamoto and his crew see them from the window and wonder what the hell they are up to, Sakura and his classmates begin tracking down Keel's hideout. He admits he doesn't fully understand what their endgame is, but he's heard enough shady rumors to know they've been up to no good. After what they did to Nagato, he's convinced they're dangerous, and he's made up his mind to save him, no matter who stands in his way. Anzai chimes in, warning everyone that Keel's gang operates in groups and always comes armed, so they all need to stay sharp. Eventually, Sakura's group locates Keel's base, but the door is locked tight. Kyotaro steps up to try opening it, but when the handle doesn't budge, he just straight up kicks the door down, leaving the others stunned by his raw power. Inside, the leader of Keel catches sight of them and greets them mockingly, announcing to Nagato that his friends have shown up. He grabs Nagato by the arm, and Anzai, seeing this, nearly charges in, but Sakura holds him back. Sakura calls out to the leader, demanding that he let Nagato go. But the man refuses, saying the kid hadn't finished earning his quota yet. At that point, Sakura realizes there's no other option but to fight. The leader laughs at him, calling him a coward for dragging classmates into his mess. Suddenly, more Keel members step out from the shadows, and the group finds themselves surrounded. Knowing they're outnumbered, Anzai apologizes for dragging everyone into the mess. But no one backs down because they're ready to throw down and believe they've got a shot at winning this. Sakura tells them to stay back because he can handle it himself, but they refuse and stand with him. The leader then signals the attack, so chaos broke loose and punches flew everywhere. And Sakura's teammates are surprised by how easily they're handling their enemies, while the leader watches from above, quietly analyzing which of Sakura's allies poses the biggest threat. Then, as the fight heats up, Sakura and Anzai push forward, and their friends open a path toward the leader. Seeing them close in, the man braces himself. Nagato then spotted Anzai and tried to strike first, but the boss blocked his move effortlessly, calling him reckless. Then, with one swift kick, he sent Nagato flying down the stairs. Sakura catches a glimpse of Nagato's fall, and right then, a Keel member jumps at him from the side, warning that Keel's elite are about to join the fray. Then 4 top-tier Keel fighters appear before the rest of Sakura's group, and they reveal their faces. And that makes the leader grin and announce that round 2 is about to begin. Sakura can't figure out why these guys are grinning, but before he can think much more, one of them named Kongo swings a metal pipe right at him, mocking him for only dodging instead of fighting back. Over on the other side, Kirishima shoves Tega away, but Tega fires back, telling him that bad guys always lose in the end. Then another one of the elite fighters named Megami goes at Kyotaro with his weapon, and though Kyotaro manages to block the hit, Megami quickly realizes he's not just some pushover. Then another boy named Kaga struggles to land a clean blow on Mitsuki, taunting him and saying he moves like a girl. Mitsuki shuts him down and tells him to stop being rude, but Kaga just laughs and calls him princess. Nearby, Suo finds himself under attack from a boy named Tone, who's convinced Suo will be an easy win because he's trying to shield Nairi. Suo tells him that protecting someone gives him more strength, not less, but Tone just assumes he's putting on a brave face. Sakura then looks around and quickly realizes his friends are starting to lose ground, so he rushes in to back them up. But Kongo blocks his path, insisting he focus on their one-on-one. Sakura demands he move, but before he can push through, he suddenly gets struck from behind, and blood begins to trickle down his head. The leader watches the scene unfold with satisfaction, noting that the tide has turned in their favor now that his top fighters are locking down Sakura's strongest allies. He mocks Anzai for being dumb enough to charge him alone, and since Sakura's group is just made up of first years, he's convinced they can't possibly handle this. Nairi begins to panic as the battle starts going south. He assumes Suo is holding back because of him and starts blaming himself for being dead weight. Feeling useless, Nairi decides to act. He throws himself at one of the Keel thugs, tackling him to the ground. But the moment is short-lived, and he quickly finds himself getting beat down, with one of the Keel guys winding up to finish him off. Suddenly, a powerful blast sends the attacker flying, as Kaji arrives on the scene with his 2 vice reps in tow. Takeshi Inamoto smiles, relieved they showed up in time, and the Keel crew instantly recognizes Kaji because his reputation for brutality precedes him. The Keel leader glares at Kaji, questioning why he's even here and claiming they're not out to harm the town. They just have personal beef with Anzai. But Kaji cuts him off, stating that anyone who's part of Furin protects every last person in this city, including the ones that matter to them. He calls the leader a complete fool for laying hands on Furin members, warning him that he should already know exactly what comes next. The Keel members freeze, clearly shaken by Kaji's presence, so the leader yells at them to take him down, but none of them move. Frustrated, the leader threatens them, asking if they'd prefer to end up like Nagato. That finally gets them moving, and they rush toward Kaji. But his vice reps jump in and shut them down before they can land a hit. Kaji tells his team to leave the leader to him. Then his vice rep Yuto Kusumi grabs Nairi and leads him out of the chaos, instructing him to stay put until the fight is over. Takeshi then calls out to Sakura and the others, telling them to keep going. The remaining Keel thugs try to stop Kaji, but they don't stand a chance because he mows through them like nothing. As he scans the area, he notices Anzai down and goes over to help him sit up. The leader watches this and is caught off guard because he didn't expect Kaji to show compassion. But before anything else happens, Sakura steps forward and tells Kaji not to touch the leader because he wants to finish this with his own hands. But Kongo jumps in, reminding Sakura that their fight isn't done either. The two get ready to clash again, until Kaji steps between them. Kaji calmly turns to Sakura and asks if he really understands what's going on. Kongo snaps, telling Kaji not to butt into their fight. But the moment Kaji lifts his foot like he's about to strike, Kongo flinches and backs off, completely spooked, and he's starting to question if Kaji's even human. Realizing Sakura is laser focused on taking down the leader, Kaji punches him to snap him out of it, shouting that his classmates are still getting wrecked out there, so he reminds Sakura that as class rep, his first job is to protect his people, and that hits hard, so Sakura realizes he's messed up. Still, he admits he can't let the leader get away with everything, so Kaji steps up and tells him to leave the guy to him. Then he walks off toward the boss, ready to deliver some well-deserved payback. Kongo then breathes a sigh of relief, thinking he got off easy because he knows he's no match for Kaji. But then Sakura punches himself in frustration, calling himself pathetic, and with fire in his eyes, he turns to Kongo and says he doesn't have time to waste playing around with him anymore. Kaji then walks up to Natori, who looks at him and says they're the same because he saw Kaji punch Sakura earlier, and assumes he leads people through fear and says that's how he keeps his own crew in check too. But he asks why Kaji still pretends to be the good guy and tells him he should leave Furin, because someone like him doesn't fit the role of a protector. He even invites Kaji to join Keel, but Kaji turns him down without hesitation, saying he doesn't enjoy hurting people. Meanwhile, Kongo gets knocked back and realizes Sakura's fully locked in now. He shouts for his guys to jump him, but Sakura tears through them like it's nothing. Kongo's stunned, and Sakura sends him flying with a punch, saying he doesn't have time to waste on them. At the same time, Kirishima slams Tega, trying to bring him down. But Tega stands firm and says rescuing his friends is just part of his style. Their upperclassmen arrive to back them up, and Kirishima calls him weak. He's confused though because Tega is smiling. Kirishima gears up for the final blow, but Tega blocks it and says smiling is also part of his style because he's an entertainer. He lands a crushing strike that drops Kirishima and tells him to get back up because the real fight starts now. Kirishima grabs a stick and swings, but Tega blocks again and finishes the fight clean. Elsewhere, Kyotaro is struggling to land a hit on Megami, who keeps dodging and kicks him back hard. But then Kyotaro catches him mid-move and slams him into the floor. He says he hates fighters who rely only on speed. Megami tries to stand, but his leg's clearly broken, and Kyotaro knocks him out cold. At the same time, Kaga picks a fight with Mitsuki and mocks him for looking feminine. But Mitsuki just shrugs it off, saying he's fine with who he is. Kaga claims that weak people should always follow the strong, stomps on Mitsuki's foot, and punches him hard. He pulls back in pain, thinking he may have hurt his wrist, but Mitsuki fires back, saying he probably scares girls away because of his trash personality. Mitsuki tells him that even if he were a girl, he wouldn't date someone like him, and adds that Kaga must be weak himself if he's following Natori. Kaga says he's only doing it because he's one of the strongest in the crew, But Mitsuki laughs and tells him he's just a frog at the bottom of a well, stuck in his tiny world where everyone around him is weak. Kaga gets pissed hearing that and keeps swinging, but Mitsuki counters with a solid strike to his shoulder that drops him instantly. Mitsuki comments that maybe people would actually like Kaga if he wasn't so full of himself. He usually doesn't hit people once they're already down, but in Kaga's case, he figures it's better to make sure he stays down, just in case. Meanwhile, Takeshi and Yuto are still in the middle of the fight, and their underclassmen are honestly in awe. There's only 2 of them, but they've completely flipped the momentum of the battle. Sakura then knocks out one of the Keel guys, and his teammates run over, telling him they've already handled their fights. But Sakura tells them not to stop their finish off the rest, and he promises next time he'll be right there beside them. He takes down another enemy, but then sees Tone getting beat up, and Suo walks over. Tone is confused why Suo's looking at him like that, and Suo coldly knocks him out. He's about to go in for another hit, but Sakura steps in and tells him it's over. Suo asks if getting beaten down didn't rattle his brain, but Sakura admits it did, and he just blames himself for being reckless. And he says losing control won't help anything. That hits Suo hard, and he finally calms down, and says he'll go take care of the rest of Keel's fighters. Back with Kaji, we see him dodging Notori's strikes and landing a clean hit, but Notori grabs him and hurls him across the area. Notori sneers, saying Kaji has a face that screams villain, and once again invites him to join Keel. He says Kaji's no hero, he's an animal pretending to play nice. Kaji calmly agrees, then flashes back to a moment burned into his memory. He remembers getting jumped by a group of thugs. One of them struck him, and after that, everything went red. And when he came to, all of them were on the ground, barely conscious. Notori thinks it was a thrill, something unforgettable. But Kaji admits that losing control like that makes him sick. He explains that ever since joining Furin, he's learned how to keep that part of himself in check. He tells Notori he's nothing like those who lead him, and he sure as hell doesn't have what it takes to be someone worth following. Notori assumes Furin domesticated him, mocks him by calling him a house pet, and says he's going to remind Kaji what it feels like to let the monster out. Then he lunges at Kaji with everything he's got. Kaji leaps backward, grabbing a chain nearby, and swings himself forward to crash into Notori, but Notori catches himself right away and boots Kaji across the room. He keeps pressing the attack, laughing that Furin has dulled Kaji's edge, that he's lost his bite. But Kaji stands tall again, and this time he smashes Notori's bat apart with a single kick. Notori laughs like a maniac, saying he loves the wild look in Kaji's eyes. They exchange brutal hits, but Kaji starts gaining ground fast, overpowering Notori. Notori says that Kaji's face in that moment makes him feel alive, but Kaji shuts him down with a knockout blow. He raises his fist to strike again, but stops when he sees that Notori's already unconscious. Right then, Kaji's vice reps walk over, realizing the fight's finally finished. Takeshi tells him everyone's waiting, and the vice reps lift Kaji's arms up into the air so everyone around them knows that it's over and Furin has won. Anzai then slowly regains consciousness, confused, asking what just happened, and the others let him know it's finished. Nagato looks at him and asks why he went so far, because he knows Anzai fought Keel for his sake. But Sakura steps in to say Furin didn't fight for Nagato. He says Notori ticked him off, and that was more than enough reason to beat the freaking guy down. Then Sakura looks at Nagato again and says Anzai nearly got wrecked trying to rescue him. Yet Nagato won't even look at him. He asks if Nagato didn't want to be saved at all. But Nagato admits he feels like trash for how he treated Anzai. He says he screwed up bad and can't undo what he did, so he doesn't think he should be saved. But Kaji cuts in and says it doesn't matter what Nagato thinks because Anzai still chose to save him, no matter what.